Part 103. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Ching Qian. Chapter 1022. Dead silence, still dead silence. All voices disappeared at this moment, whether it was the actors or the audience who were invited to the scene. They all stared at the girl in the middle of the high stage dumbfounded, and their brains fell into a blank at this moment. Even Lu Man, who was brought onto the stage by Sci-fi, opened her eyes wide. God's right hand. The dress she was wearing turned out to be a new product designed by the right hand of God. And the right hand of God is Sci-fi himself. Lu Man was in a trance, always feeling that everything that happened today was just a dream of hers. I came to Glenn this time, not as an actor, but as a designer. Sci-fi looked at the camera with calm eyes. I am also very grateful to my teacher, Mr. Gu Wenzu, for his cultivation of me. According to the procedure, the camera should be transferred to Gu Wenzu in the VIP seat at this moment, but the media staff in the backstage were obviously still in shock and couldn't recover. Gu Wenzu had expected the scene a long time ago and had already stood up to take the stage. "Hello everyone, I'm Gu Wenzu." He took the microphone from Sci-fi and smiled gently. "Ching Ching is my student and I have never introduced her to you. Now I will officially introduce her to you, to the entire design world." Speaking of this, he deliberately paused. "You're God's right hand, she descended to earth, and I will also secretly tell you that she herself has complained to me countless times why everyone gave her such a title of secondary school." Everyone in the audience finally woke up at this moment, followed by thunderous applause. God's right hand is needed. Where is the second grade? Putting it on the right person is a good reputation. Shit, but I have no culture. I can only say this one word. My wife and the senior I admire are the same person again. It seems that I really only like Sci-fi, and every time my heart beats, I am alone. The one in front is too shameless. Don't you have a wife yourself? Why are you robbing me? After I went crazy, I calmed down again. Since baby King could be a 9 god more than 10 years ago, why couldn't she be the right hand of a god? I originally thought that a certain female star had enough identities, but my imagination was too low. I didn't expect that she even had the right hand of God smile. Today, Glenn's actor and actress are almost all here, just to be able to see the right hand of God. The movie kings and queens stood up one after another, and they all saluted Sci-fi. Ulysses had a cold expression, his eyes were cloudy and uncertain. He gritted his teeth and reluctantly applauded. When the camera caught him, he had to show a smile. I see. He has been thinking about the relationship between Sci-fi and Yunlin, and why Yunlin told Sci-fi all the very private things. Because Sci-fi is the right hand of God, Yun Ian's queen designer. At this moment, Ulysses felt a little regretful that he and Sci-fi had a bad relationship at the banquet yesterday. At that time, he only regarded her as a competitor in the movie business, with interests involved, and there was only one winner, so naturally he would not give her a good face. But she is still the right hand of God. The successor of fashion godfather Gu Wenzu. In other words, international fashion resources are in her hands. Ulysses pursed his lips, momentarily distracted. Qinzai was also in a state of confusion. Her complexion was pale. Her body wobbled, and she couldn't even sit still. She has never connected Sci-fi with the right hand of God. In her opinion, Sci-fi is still very far away from the right hand of God. When she was still struggling to compete with Sci-fi in acting, Sci-fi had already stood at the pinnacle of other fields. Qinzai trembled all over, her complexion turned paler, and her clothes were soaked in cold sweat. Obviously the camera just swept across the seats as usual, but she felt extremely embarrassed, like a thorn in her back. At the same time, she was also very unwilling. Why is Lu Man so lucky to be invited by Sci-fi to the stage, and to wear the latest design dress. She tore Lu Man's clothes, and actually helped Lu Man in turn. Qin Zhao couldn't swallow this breath at all, and stared at Lu Man intently, his eyes turning red little by little. This is Miss Lu Man, she is 20 years old on stage, I fucking introduced Lu Man to everyone, I am very happy to invite her to be my model. Kaka shutter sound one after another. It doesn't have to be tomorrow, within 10 minutes, Lu Man's name will spread throughout the international fashion industry. Lu Man was still a little cautious before taking the stage, but now she showed the details of the dress to everyone in a graceful manner. From now on, I won't take up the time of the models. I fucking slightly nodded, please watch this show to your heart's content. The applause was like thunder, and the atmosphere reached its highest point. Everyone was very excited. The show officially started and ended 2 hours later, and the number of online viewers reached a record high. 2 billion people witnessed the moment when the right hand of God appeared. As soon as the show was over, the media couldn't wait to gather around and start interviewing. I fucking retreated to the backstage early, and Yu Xian was surrounded. Both Feng San and 11 Zhang were a little nervous, and were about to step forward to stop them. Yu Xian raised her hand, signaling that they don't need to act. The powerful aura exuded by his gestures captured the attention of the surrounding media. This time Yu Xian was very patient, and took the initiative to ask, "Is there anything you want to ask? Just now I saw that Mr. Yu and MSSI came together and walked the red carpet together." A reporter came back to his senses and stammered, Mr. Yu should have known that MSSI is the right hand of God, right? Is there anything you want to say to everyone?" Yu Xian lowered her eyelashes, then raised her head and smiled slightly at the camera, "It's very dazzling. Youth is the first talent show of the Great Xia Empire, and 6 years have passed." But he also still remembered what she said at the last public performance. "No one can destroy your dreams, not anyone." At that moment, she was glowing. But she didn't cover up all the light, but let the light scatter on those who chase their dreams. Let them all be like stars, blooming their own light. He could not restrain his heart for her. Forever. Yu Xian didn't appear in public many times, and most of the time he was serious and indifferent. At this moment when he smiled like this, it was as if the ice and snow on the top of the snow mountain melted, and everything turned pale. Ah. Thank you, I'm already dizzy. This is my CP, evenly matched, soulmate. The material is here, I'm going to cut the video right now, so that everyone can knock on my CP. Tonight is a visual feast, and for most people, it is also a sleepless night. #SI fucking, God's right hand #. She is very dazzling #. Lu Man, top broken feeling #. The hot search was detonated again, SI fucking's fans were basically saturated, but Lu Man gained 8 million fans overnight. Qin Zhao didn't sleep all night, and kept refreshing Lu Man's Weibo homepage. Early in the morning, she walked out of the hotel room with a pair of panda eyes, and just bumped into Lu Man, who had finished her breakfast. At this moment, all the resentment and anger in Qin Zhao's heart could not be restrained completely, and they all exploded. "Lu Man," Qin Zhao was hysterical, "did you already know that? You know that SI fucking is the right hand of God," and deliberately pretended to be pitiful to touch her. Lu Man didn't have any works at all in the past 3 years, but he just stopped there yesterday and got the attention of countless people. She can't take it? "Qin Zhao, you've fallen into a misunderstanding from the very beginning." Lu Man looked at her calmly, "You ripped my skirt first, I didn't make you do it on purpose." "Who knows if you did it on purpose?" Qin Zhao's eyes were red. "You like to pretend to be weak to seduce boys in junior high school, and you still do it now." Lu Man sneered, "Do you really think that everyone wants everyone's attention as much as you do? I was still thinking about how to get enough food every day in junior high school, So I didn't have time to compete with you. These words made the last string in Qin Zio's brain snap with a snap. She took a step forward, raised her hand suddenly, and slapped Lu Man across the face. Crack. The crisp sound of bones fell, and Qin Zio's hand was stopped by another hand. She screamed in pain, her face pale as paper. Sci-Fu tilted his eyes down, and looked at the trembling Qin Zio lightly. The person who hit me in front of me, Qin Zio, is very courageous. She let go. Qin Zio fell backwards, staggered a few steps before barely holding his body. Sci-Fu tilted his head. Are you all right? Lu Man shook her head, her eyes brightened. It's okay, teacher Si, I want to learn from you. Si, you did it on purpose. Qin Zio broke down even more. Why did you come back? Why? Ever since Si came back, everything was not going well for her, whether it was acting or variety shows. Si always put her on the top. Worry too much. Si glanced at her. You are not that important yet. Qin Zio's lips trembled violently, his face turned pale. You. But since you said that I targeted you deliberately, I'll take that name seriously. Si tilted his head and said flatly, I don't like others to slander me for no reason. Qin Zio raised his head suddenly, his voice trembling. What do you mean? Si didn't reply to her again, but took Lu Man's hand lazily, and winked at her. Let's go, I'll take you to see my teacher. Lu Man hummed happily. Both of them completely ignored Qin Zio. Qin Zio stared blankly at their backs, almost going crazy. Lu Man. You are not allowed to go, did you hear that? Your contract is still in the hands of the company. Do you want to break the contract? At best, she would not be reconciled to Si-Fu's pressure on her. But Lu Man also walked in front of her, which she couldn't accept at all. Qin Zio clenched his fists and returned to the room in a daze to call Ruan Chengfang. As soon as the phone was connected, her tears fell. Sister Ruan, what should I do? On the other side, Ian's headquarters, Gu Wenzu's office. Teacher Si knocked on the door. I brought someone here, please take a look. Gu Wenzu pushed his glasses. Come in. Lu Man was a little apprehensive. Hello, Mr. Gu. I've already seen your work, and its aura, but I haven't received any orthodox instruction, so I'm missing a lot. Gu Wenzu looked at Lu Man kindly. It just so happens that there is one missing from the design department. There is an assistant vacancy. If you want, you can start with the assistant. Lu Man was pleasantly surprised, almost unbelievable. I do. She never thought that one day, she could enter LAN to study design. Okay, Gu Wenzu nodded. I'll ask the design director to take you to familiarize yourself with the design department in a while. By the way, how long have you signed with Ju's Hung Company? Lu Man pursed her lips, and said in a difficult voice, the contract of sale. Such an overlord. Gu Wenzu frowned, and his voice became cold. Don't worry, since you are Ian's employee, the company will solve this matter for you. Lu Man suddenly looked up. Mr. Gu. Gu Wenzu smiled. Don't thank me, thank you Ching Ching. Ching Ching is on you, and I saw my former self. Mr. Si, thank you. I don't know how to thank you. Lu Man choked up. Without you, I don't know what I will. She will be squeezed out by Ju's Hung Entertainment and Qin Zio until she is no longer worth using. Thank you yourself. Si patted her on the shoulder. Thank you for sticking to your dream and never giving up. If you don't have the strength, even if I recommend you, the teacher will not agree. Gu Wenzu looked serious. Not bad. Lu Man gently hugged Si teacher Si, Qin Zio. Since she has confirmed the crimes against me, then I will target them. Si raised her eyebrows. Otherwise, wouldn't it be a disappointment to her good intentions? Lu Man was taken aback. What does teacher Si mean? Si hummed. I will find evidence of Qin Zio's campus violence. School violence. She has done this kind of thing. Gu Wenzu frowned. It's really too much. She has bullied a lot of people, but... Lu Man hesitated for a moment, but that happened in junior high school, and it has been 5 or 6 years. Her team must have known about it and cleaned it up for her. Can't find it? Otherwise, when Qin Ziyu became famous, her black material would be unearthed by the star team of the opponent. But in the past 3 years, Qin Ziyu's reputation has been very good, and there has never been a student who was bullied by her to expose her. If you want people not to know, unless you don't do anything about it, I fucking said lightly, even if they clean it up, I can recover it all. Lu Man was still a little confused. Gu Wenzu suddenly realized, yes, after all, you are T18's first-class intelligence collector. After looking through the vest of the genius doctor, it has not been publicly dropped, and it has been dropped in the back. Difficult to fill in the pit. Ask for a monthly ticket. Thank you everyone. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1023. Gu Wenzu only found out about this not long ago, and he finally understood why Si fucking would strongly recommend T18 to him when he hired 0 investigators to take charge of his travels. At that time, 0 and T18 were still deadly rivals. Now the two have become one family, but the habit of grabbing performance has not changed. Lu Man's eyes widened, and she couldn't help taking a deep breath. Si, teacher Si, you. She stammered, unable to utter a complete sentence, and her head felt dizzy. Si fucking is not only the right hand of God, but also the person in charge of T18. Lu Man felt that she would not be able to recover for a while. Teacher, you scared my little sister, Si fucking said. Besides, I've been washing my hands for a long time, and now the work is done by other people. Gu Wenzu pushed his glasses and snorted slightly. How often do you scare people? I also learned your one success power. After finishing speaking, he turned his head again, and said kindly, Miss Lu, you don't have to worry, and you don't have to hide it anymore. It's just that the matter is revealed again, and you will definitely be hurt. You still need to think about it yourself. Lu Man returned to his senses with a firm expression. I am not the only one who was bullied by Qin Ziyu, they are also waiting, but... It's just that Qin Ziyu jumped to the top class, and those who were bullied didn't even have a chance to bring her down. Okay, Si fucking chuckled, I will help you. Lu Man's nose was sour, and tears fell again. She hurriedly raised her hand to wipe her hair, then lowered her head. Mr. Si, I won't bother you and Mr. Gu. I'll go to the design department first. Gu Wenzu nodded. Okay, let's go. Lu Man backed out and closed the door. Only Gu Wenzu and Si fucking were left in the office. Gu Wenzu sighed. Ching, you really did a good job. My sister helped me who was once weak, and when I am strong, I will naturally help other vulnerable groups. Si fucking looked out the window, startled, and said softly, everyone is weak sometimes, but there are also those who are alone. One day. She was still thinking about Ye Wanlin all the time. Ye Wanlin taught her too many things. But everyone needs to pay a price for their growth, and Ye Wanlin never told her what he had paid. Pain and scars are inevitable. But Ye Wanlin is still protecting her from the wind and rain. You have a good sister, Gu Wenzu asked with concern. I used to hear you talk about her all the time. Where did she go? Si fucking smiled. I went to a place where I will definitely be able to meet her in the future. The two were talking, when the door was pushed open. With a squeak, a figure came into view. Gu Wenzu looked up and couldn't help but bewildered. You are Gu Wenzu. The owner of Ghost Valley lifted his clothes and sat down on the seat opposite. He squinted at Gu Wenzu. I'm only 78 years old this year, and I'm not as old as a fraction of this old man. Sure enough, among all the masters, he is still the number one, no one can compare to him. Gu Wenzu. He looked at Si fucking with questioning eyes. Where did you find such a strange old man? Ahem, I fucking cleared his throat. Teacher, this is my master, who used to take care of me, and the master also taught me medical and poison techniques. That's not true, the Lord of Ghost Valley snorted coldly. I fed you up with every blade of grass and a flower. Without this old man, you wouldn't be able to live now. Gu Wenzu. I fucking. There is nothing wrong with saying that. She did eat all the vegetation and flowers in Ghost Valley. It turns out that the old man is also King King's teacher. Gu Wenzu got up and stretched out his hand. It's a pleasure to meet you. The Lord of Ghost Valley shook hands with him in disgust. I am the eldest, according to your age, you can only be ranked fourth. Gu Wenzu said again. Who is the second child and the third child? Master, don't worry about the ranking, I prepared all the clothes for you. I fucking pushed the Lord of Ghost Valley into the fitting room next door. Go and try it on, there will be a special photographer for you photograph. The Lord of Ghost Valley stroked his beard and said, okay, the old man will go. With his hands behind his back, he walked slowly, with a sense of immortality in his walk. Ching Ching. Gu Wenzu turned his head with difficulty. How old is your master? His temper looks very young, and his appearance is only 60 years old. I fucking counted with his fingers. Ah, the master is younger than the master of the Palace of Longevity, and he will be 10,83 years old this year. Gu Wenzu. He fell silent. For a moment, he didn't know whether he should pay attention to whether I fucking spirit was out of order, or whether he should pay attention to the fact that his age was not as old as the owner of Ghost Valley. Gu Wenzu exhaled slowly. As a designer with unconstrained imagination, he has matured, and he should learn to digest I fucking's words by himself. The company will issue a new announcement after all the models have finished taking photos. Gu Wenzu said, after you announced your identity yesterday, the company's stock has risen a few points. I fucking blinked. Can I get more points? How come you are still a money fan? Gu Wenzu shook his head. The whole land belongs to you. Without you, Lan would not be where he is today. He also has moments of lack of inspiration, the longest period even reaching 2 years. I fucking appeared at that time, which not only injected new inspiration into him, but also gave him successors. Gu Wenzu suddenly asked, by the way, I haven't asked you yet, why did you think you still need to learn design? Oh, I fucking said unhurriedly, because my stupid dog likes pretty little skirts, raising her has exhausted my wallet, so I cut clothes by myself. Gu Wenzu pinched his eyebrows. He never wanted to talk to I fucking again. 2 hours later, Ian's official website updated the homepage. Photos and Weibo and other international social platforms also released a set of Jagaga-style photos. The shape of the Lord of Ghost Valley is shown in the middle, grabbing the attention of netizens. Good guy, a trendy old man with an outstanding temperament, why haven't I seen it before? The old man's expression looks like a king's contempt. The communication between Freedom Island and other continents has been fully connected, and this group of modeling photos has naturally been sent back to Freedom Island. Compared with people from other continents, the residents of Freedom Island have only one feeling: shock to the point of splitting. Magic the family members, the Lord of Ghost Valley is going to be a model. Don't tell me, this dress is really pretty, and the person who designed it is really good. Nonsense, the Lord of Ghost Valley is going to be a model. This dress can only be designed by Goddess Si, who else can make the Lord of Ghost Valley do this except Goddess Si? Even the Lord of Demon Abyss has to be beaten out by the Lord of Ghost Valley. Hiss, the Lord of Ghost Valley has gone to be a model. What else is impossible in this world? Tomorrow I can pick up 1 million. This day is destined to be a global carnival feast. But there are others who are anxious and distraught. Chinzai retreated from his hotel room in Glen as quickly as possible, and returned to the Great Xia Empire. At this moment, the atmosphere in Chinzai's studio was stagnant. Sister Ruan, what should I do now that Lu Man has climbed up to Si fucking? Chinzai's eyes were reddened, tears were still falling, and her fingers were trembling. How could she have such good luck? If she had known in advance that Sci-Fucking would bump into Lu Man after she tore Lu Man's clothes, she would never have done so. It's alright that Sci-Fucking kept suppressing her limelight, but Lu Man also stepped on her head. She is not reconciled. Tell me why you ran to tear her clothes when you have nothing to do. Ruan Chengfang suppressed his anger. Are you doing nothing to do? You are wearing a high-end dress that the company borrowed for you, and she is a handmade dress. What can threaten you? I. Qin Zhao opened his mouth, but couldn't utter a complete sentence. She dared not say at all that it was indeed in her nature. Originally, she had learned 70% of what she had learned from Sci-Fucking in the past 3 years, at least on the surface they were similar. But after Sci-Fucking came back, he let her know that many things she couldn't learn, and her true nature began to be revealed gradually, and she couldn't suppress it anymore. Since junior high school, Qin Zhao has enjoyed the feeling of being superior, and likes to watch the weak like Lu Man prostrate in front of her. She does take pleasure in bullying others, too. Later, she was discovered by the scouts of Jusheng Entertainment and sent abroad as a trainee, and Jusheng Entertainment also helped her erase the period of her bullying. How do I know that Sci-Fucking is the right hand of God? Qin Zhao's tears fell even more fiercely. Why didn't she say that at that time? At that time she was just looking at me as a joke. No wonder Lan issued a statement as soon as her modeling photos came out. Who would believe that Sci-Fucking didn't target her? What's the use of regretting it now? It's too late. Ruan Chengfang frowned. When you tore Lu Man's clothes, was there any surveillance? Qin Zhao pursed her lips. No, I went into her lounge to tear it up. That's okay. Ruan Chengfang breathed a sigh of relief. Tell Lu Man to shut up, break up this matter and swallow it in her stomach, and don't say anything. I still hold her contract in my hand. Qin Zhao was overjoyed. Sister Ruan, I knew you would love me. Ruan Chengfang comforted her. You can film with peace of mind, and I will figure out other things. However, at this moment, the office of the CEO of Jusheng Entertainment. Hello Mr. Chiu, I am Mr. Gu Wenzu's personal lawyer and also Ian's chief lawyer. The woman wore a pair of gold-rimmed glasses and smiled. I came here today to find Mr. Chiu for a very important matter. Important things. Mr. Chiu was taken aback, and quickly got up. Hello, what's the matter with Mr. Gu? I will definitely do it. This is Gu Wenzu, the godfather of fashion. Mr. Gu signed Ms. Lu Man, and Ms. Lu Man has entered the design department to start her internship. The woman took out a document and said flatly, our company has found out that Ms. Lu Man signed an overlord contract with your company. The liquidated damages are 10 million. When Mr. Chiu heard this, cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Mr. Gu loves talents, and he doesn't want Miss Lu Man to continue to be a human being in your company, so he asked me to come to your company to help Miss Lu Man terminate the contract. The woman took out another bank card. There is 10 million yuan in it. With a plop, Mr. Chiu's legs went limp, and he sat down on the chair again. Looking at the bank card, he broke out in cold sweat even more. Why don't you accept it? The woman looked at him with a smile. Chiu always feels that it is not enough, and wants the lion to open his mouth. You can tell the number. No liquidated damages. Mr. Chiu hurriedly said, it's her blessing and the company's blessing that this girl is able to advance. How can I charge liquidated damages? I will terminate the contract with her right away. The woman's expression was still very calm, and she threw out a second document. Then sign it. President Chiu gritted his teeth and signed his name. The woman put away the documents, and after she left, Mr. Chiu seemed to have lost all his strength, and fell down on the chair, panting. Outside the Jusheng Entertainment building, the woman dialed Gu Wenzu's phone and smiled. Hi, Mr. Gu, the matter has been resolved. After being able to terminate the contract, Lu Man also got her own Weibo account from Jusheng Entertainment again. She posted a Weibo and posted her contract termination certificate. At V, I have already joined the job, thank you at teacher for helping me, I will not let down my dream. Congratulations Manman. Thank you, Mr. SI, we have finally made it through Manman, and we don't need to look at a certain top-notch color anymore. Why don't some learned fans show up? Do you still have the face to say that your sister SI oppresses the younger generation? She really doesn't have that skill. Chinzio's fans turned red-eyed when they saw that Lu Man actually got Ian's application letter, and ran to Lu Man's Weibo to insult him crazily. These days, the more Chinzio's fans scolded him, the more he rebounded. Even passers-by and netizens couldn't stand it anymore. Do Chinzio's fans have top cancer? No one is allowed to surpass your sister, but your sister is not top either. In the past, Juzhong Entertainment deliberately didn't give Lu Man resources, and asked her to serve as Chinzio's partner. Fortunately, Si-fu came out to help, otherwise Lu Man might be squeezed into a situation by Juzhong Entertainment and Chinzio's team. Are you angry? Hey, I'm happy when you're angry. What happened to Chinzio's fans? Since Goddess Si came back, you can't laugh anymore. Chinzio loses fans every day, and these are all living fans. Sister Ruan, Chinzio couldn't believe it. Why did Lu Man terminate the contract with the company? Will the company release him? Ruan Chengfang listened to Mr. Chiu's phone call with a cold face, and slowly let out a breath. Ian's chief lawyer came here to help her terminate the contract. Maybe the company won't agree. If he can't win the lawsuit, he will offend Lan. Chinzio was devastated. Why is she? She had worked so hard for so long, it would be better if Lu Man got a ride on Si fucking's ride. Si fucking is really going too far. Ruan Chengfang was furious. Is she helping Lu Man? She just wants to target you. I need to contact Sang Yanking to find out. However, the internet did not give Chinzio's team time to react. Hashtag Chinzio Campus Violence Hashtag Chinzio Bully Hashtag. The two hot searches skyrocketed and hung high. Good morning. Under the call of the editor, a vibrato // sound number was opened. Babies who play this can pay attention to a wave. The ID is 6403-483-1932, there will be activities on the website later. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1024. The first top Weibo post on the hot search homepage was a 10-minute video. The video is composed of several clips, but the protagonist in each clip is a person. Chinzio in junior high school. Among the stars of this generation, Chinzio's appearance is indeed one of the outstanding ones, and she has not undergone plastic surgery. She can be easily recognized by netizens as she was 6 years ago. In the first part of the video, Chinzio was wearing a leather jacket, heavy makeup, and a cigarette in his mouth. She grabbed a frail girl and slapped her across the face, her tone arrogant and disdainful. Who told you to run away when you saw me? Did you write my homework today? I warn you, you will not be allowed to enter the top 10 in the next exam. If you do, you will know the consequences. The victim was protected by a mosaic, and only Chinzio and her followers were on the screen. The group slapped the girl dozens of times, and then walked away without any remorse. The next few videos are the same as the first one, all of which are scenes of Chinzio bullying different people. Netizens were shocked. What is Chinzio doing? School violence? I recognize that school uniform, it's the junior high school that Chinzio went to. Chinzio, were you so vicious and bad when you were young? It's so disgusting. Fortunately, I took off my fans early. How could there be such a disgusting person? I also suffered from campus violence when I was a child. I know that this has caused irreparable damage to my character and my future life. A bully like Shinzaiyo doesn't deserve anything good at all. The last video unexpectedly does not tag the victim. Netizens also discovered that the person being bullied in this video was Lu Man. In the picture, Shinzaiyo casually scalded Lu Man's arm with a cigarette end, leaving scars. After doing all this, Shinzaiyo patted Lu Man's face, warning, "Stay away from him, or it won't be just an arm next time." Little Lu Man held back her tears and didn't cry. She calmly put on the long sleeves of her school uniform, and said word by word, "Shinzaiyo, you will be punished." Retribution. Shinzaiyo seemed to have heard something funny. She turned her head and looked down at Lu Man. "Your family is so poor, your parents don't want you, and your grandma passed away a few days ago. Who will protect you, you? Oh, you want to find someone else, can you see if you can find it?" I said why Manman has never worn short sleeves before. It turns out that there are so many scars on his arms, and his heart aches to death. Shinzaiyo bullied Lu Man before, and is still bullying Lu Man now. Why don't you die yourself? Fortunately, the rewards of Man's hardships have come, but the suffering suffered must not be written off in one stroke. Shinzaiyo must repay it. ### This entry quickly climbed to the #1 position in the hot search. In just 10 minutes, the microblogs of Shinzaiyo and his studio were blasted by angry netizens. Shinzaiyo's team had never encountered such a big public relations incident, and they didn't know what to do. Shinzaiyo slammed her hands on the table. Looking at herself in the video on the screen, her body trembled uncontrollably. Delete. Delete quickly. This was all 5 or 6 years ago. Long after she was selected by Juzhong Entertainment and sent abroad as a trainee, all these things she did were cleaned up by Juzhong Entertainment. When she returned to China at the age of 17, she debuted in Youth Girl with the first place, and she was worried that this bad black history would be exposed. But 3 years later, there was no news, and Juzhong Entertainment repeatedly assured that all videos would be deleted, and those who were bullied would be settled with money, so Shinzaiyo was relieved. How could it be fully exposed at this time? Shinzaiyo's hands trembled even more. Trembling, she took out her phone and clicked on her Weibo. The fans couldn't control the front row anymore, and her Weibo was completely compromised. School violence is a long-standing topic. Many people have experienced discrimination, insulting nicknames, beatings, scolding, and money grabbing to some extent. As a public star, Shinzaiyo's words and deeds were watched by tens of millions of people, which aroused everyone's anger. Lu Man also posted a Weibo at this time, accompanied by a video. "Hi everyone, I'm Lu Man. I was once bullied by Shinzaiyo. She has bullied many people, and I'm just one of them," Lu Man said calmly. "I used to be weak and wanted to resist, but I couldn't do anything. Thank teacher Sin Lan for giving me the opportunity to resist. I must speak out all of Shinzaiyo's evil deeds. When I was in junior high school, my parents divorced and each started a family. They didn't want me. I was brought up by my grandmother, but unfortunately, my grandma didn't wait until I was admitted to high school. She passed away when I was in the second year of junior high school. From then on, I was bullied by Shinzaiyo for half a year. I was stupid at that time. I asked her why. The reason she gave was that I robbed the boy she liked, and I didn't even know the boy, she said. Later, I realized that it was just because I participated in the competition with this boy. After one game, the game has a 7-day closed training camp. In fact, the reasons of bullies have always been excuses. They just take pleasure in bullying others to satisfy their own perverted psychology. I stand up this time for the sake of thousands of people who have been bullied before. Come out. Lu Man's expression was firm. I will not hide, and I will help other people who have suffered school violence in the future. You can all come to me or teacher Si. I have always believed that bullies will not always. If you stay away, you will pay the price for what you have done. At the end of the video, Lu Man lifted up her sleeves, revealing the scars on her skin. MSSI told me that the current medical technology can remove all these scars. Don't worry about me. My life will start again. We'll keep going down. As soon as Weibo came out, the whole network became a sensation. My heart aches for Man. I was also called an insulting nickname by my classmates when I was a child. I broke down and asked them not to call me that. They just continued to make fun of me with a hippie smile. Shinzio is a bully. Why can he become a star in the entertainment industry? Such a person is also worthy of being an idol. Can Shinzio and Jusheng Entertainment get out together, please? The witness evidence is here. I see how Shinzio's fans will wash it up this time. Could it be that you like bullies? Before I didn't believe that Shinzio pushed Hua Jingguan to death, but now I believe it. What can't a bully do? When will misbullying go in? Shinzio's fan base is indeed thick enough. Even if it was exposed that she imitated Sci-Fi's popular route, her fans never left her. But it's different now. Her biggest black spot was unreservedly moved to the internet, and the whole network was exposed, leaving her no time to cover it up. A very large-scale defan movement was born. There were only a few unscrupulous fans still jumping up and down insulting Lu Man, and even saying things like bullying you makes you think highly of you. Shinzio's fans completely collapsed, which made her unacceptable. What's going on with these videos? Ruan Chengfang couldn't believe it. The company obviously deleted them all. And obviously, the video clips that have been released are of higher resolution than the deleted ones, and they have been perfectly restored. Shinzio raised his head abruptly, his teeth chattering. Sister Ruan, it's Sci-Fucking. It must be Sci-Fucking. Ruan Chengfang paused, surprised. Sci-Fucking. She told me at the time that she was going to prove her crimes against me. Shinzio gritted his teeth. Who else could it be if it wasn't her? Ruan Chengfang pursed her lower lip. Her voice was weak. Even if it's her, what can you do? Shinzio panicked, and grabbed Ruan Chengfang's hand. Sister Ruan, the company will help me, right? I'm top class, top class. Ruan Chengfang didn't speak this time. She walked to the other side with a solemn expression, and answered the call from Jusheng Entertainment. The other side. Sci-Fucking also returned to 49 City, while Lu Man stayed in Glen to study in the design department. The sun was shining, pouring down from the blue sky, flowing slowly on the earth like molten gold. The weather is fine today and I'm in a good mood. I'm going shopping. Sci-Fucking stretched his waist. Ninth brother, are you going? Yuzian nodded in response, and looked at her with a slight smile. So happy. Of course I'm happy that I've done another good thing. Sci-Fu tilted his chin and raised a finger. Please call me the captain of the anti-crime team. There are so many evils and scandals in this world, even she can't be careful and eradicate them all. But as long as she sees it, she will do it. Ye Wanlin saved her, and she will save others. Yuzian reached out and touched her head, smiled lowly. Her eyes were extremely gentle. Suddenly I remembered what you said to me again. Huh? Sci-Fucking looked up at him. What are you talking about? Although there is darkness, the light never dies. He hugged her. His voice was very soft. Maybe there are beat people in every generation, but there will never be a beat generation. They have been working hard. Sci-Fucking coughed lightly. I seem to have told you more than once. Yes, Yuzian said, when you recorded 66 Days to Survive, you also said this to other people, and I listened to it. Sci-Fucking blinked. Did you feel familiar at that time? Very familiar. Yuzian lowered her eyelashes and smiled. I was wondering how there could be such similar people in the world, but they were the same. I remember it very clearly, Your Majesty. Yinhuang. Sci-Fucking stretched out his hand and poked him on the shoulder. I guess you also remember all the rainbow farts I gave you. I always remember your words very clearly. He looked at her, and his smile seemed to deepen. I remember everything. He has always spoken plainly, without too many love words. And she has been with him for so long, and she will still be moved by his words. I'm going to the studio. Sci-fi leaned up, let's go out for a stroll in a while. Okay, he said, I'll pick you up. SI fucking studio. Teacher SI, the manager's assistant was very excited. Look, Chin Zio's image has also collapsed after the video was released. In an hour, she has already lost 3 million fans. 3 million fans, almost all of Chin Zio's live fans. SI fucking hummed, where is the progress? The brand contract is terminated. Sang Yanking poured her a glass of water. Here, it has already started. The broker assistant opened the Weibo homepage. Hashtag Chin Zio, terminate the contract hashtag. The following are the announcements from major brands and crews. At V, the contract with MS Chin Zio has been terminated, and the national heroine audition has started again. At V, the contract has been terminated, hereby announce. At V, MS Chin Zio has corrupt morals and low quality. The Liu Hexiang brand has terminated the contract with MS Chin Zio, and requires Miss Chin Zio to compensate according to the provisions of the contract. The internet was full of contract termination notices. All of Chin Zio's endorsements were wiped out, not a single one remained. Mu Qing, a senior fellow who once surpassed Chin Zio's CP with Chin Zio, also quickly and decisively removed Chin Zio. The situation was completely irreversible. Juice Hung Entertainment completely gave up on Chin Zio and took back all resources. After one night's work, Chin Zio was completely blocked, and all the TV series he filmed were also taken off the shelves. This Chin Zio, it doesn't matter if he's a good learner, but he's actually a bully. The manager assistant was indignant. Fortunately, Mr. SI was here and restored those videos. Otherwise, this kind of person would continue to stay in the entertainment industry. How many fans' values may be damaged? The brand has terminated the contract, so it's time to sue. SI fucking pondered for a moment. Although the validity period of the lawsuit has passed, we can still protect the rights and interests of the victims. Sang Yanking nodded. I'm afraid that they are still ruthless and want to make a comeback. While talking, Sang Yanking's work cell phone rang. She picked it up and looked at it, then shrugged. Look, CAO is here. SI fucking squeezed his wrist. Turn on the speakerphone, I want to see what else they want to do. Sang Yanking pressed the answer button and turned on the speakerphone. Ruan Jinfang's cautious voice sounded from the microphone. Yanking, things have come to this point, Zio is all lost, there is no need to drive her to a dead end. Sister Ruan. Don't beg them, Chin Zio said. Si fucking, you did it, right? You must have done it. Yes, I did it. Si fucking raised his eyebrows, and said unhurriedly, aren't you happy to fulfill your wish that I deliberately aimed at you? You are violating my privacy. Chin Zio's face turned pale, his voice trembling. Why did you release these videos? You broke the law. If you haven't studied the FA before, go learn it. Si fucking yawned twice. The videos in public places, do you really think you can delete them all? Don't worry, I've already sent T18 to the door, you just wait. Chin Zio froze suddenly. Good morning. Xiaoyu and Ziobai, Lu Qingning and Tan Jingmo finished writing. Ying Huang will appear next month. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1025. The name T18 is naturally familiar to her. Even if 0 and T18 have been merged into one, they can be regarded as the two intelligence bureaus that used to be tit for tat, and their status is extremely high. T18, Chin Zio sneered, with a stern look, I thought you were so great, but I didn't expect you to rely on men for everything. Why, if you want to vent your anger on Lu Man and the others, let T18 arrest me if you have the ability. Don't rely on Yu Zion. 0 and T18 have become one, and Chin Zio took it for granted that T18 also obeyed the orders of Yu Zion, the chief 0. Thinking of this, the jealousy in her heart began to grow crazily again. almost drowning her sanity. Why is SI fucking so lucky to befriend Uzion? A Uzion is an extremely tough backstage. If she can know Uzion, she can also stand in SI fucking's position. It's not because she's not strong enough, it's because her luck is too bad. This breaks the defense. SI fucking was not angry, and raised his brows. You still have time to break the defense. Chinzio couldn't restrain his panic and anger at all. Those surveillance cameras were obviously deleted. How did you get them? What did you do? There are too many right and wrong in the entertainment industry, and black and white are also the norm. Even if there is iron evidence like a video, the star team can kill the person who is not himself. But Chinzio couldn't do it. Besides the video, there was also Lu Man as authentication. She was completely nailed to the pillar of shame. Delete. SI fucking folded his arms, and said calmly, records in public places, do you really think that deleting them will solve everything? Juzhong Entertainment's means are completely vulnerable to the existing information technology. Chinzio's eyes were red. SI fucking, are you very proud? You pushed me out of the entertainment industry. Do you think you will be able to stay popular for a long time? There will be more juniors in the future, can you suppress them one by one? I'm looking forward to this day very much. SI fucking smiled slightly, as long as it's not a junior like you, but a junior who is down to earth and speaks with strength, I can provide all the resources to create a few more superstars and let the audience wash their eyes. I will also design costumes for them, so that they can all be on the stage of Glenn, and I can also give them all the luxury endorsements that come to me, so that they can stand taller and go further, but you absolutely not among these juniors. These words made Chinzio's nerves snap, and she screamed, SI fucking. She also has strength, why didn't SI fucking provide her with resources? Are you afraid of being surpassed by her? SI fucking, Chinzio's breathing was almost panting, and his voice became even sharper, do you really think that the entertainment industry is up to you? I'm really sorry, since you said that. SI Fu raised his eyebrows, I want to have the final say, so I can have the final say. Boom. With a loud bang, the other party's phone was thrown out. Beep beep. The call was also hung up. The psychological endurance is too poor. SI Fu straightened his waist, I haven't made a big move yet. Sang Yanking snorted coldly, leave her alone, you still want to make Cheng Xian, and director Chu said that you signed 2 movies with him this year, and these 2 movies will help you win the bid at the beginning of next year Ryan Lifetime Achievement Award. I am worried that you will die suddenly from being too exhausted from filming. That's not true. SI fucking took a sip of water, I'm a special effects person, if I'm tired, I'll create a clone to take pictures for me. Sang Yanking. Those who practice spirituality can't be provoked. It's better for her to be an ordinary person quietly. Sister Sang, I'm leaving first. SI fucking put on his baseball cap, call me if you have anything to do. Okay, Sang Yanking responded, and then asked suspiciously, you are in such a hurry, do you have something urgent to do? SI fucking stopped in his tracks, and poked his head through the door, a date with a boyfriend is very important, the boyfriend needs to coax. After finishing speaking, she blinked and slipped away immediately. The agent's assistant covered his heart, Sister Sang, I seemed to be a dog lying on the side of the road basking in the sun, and I was suddenly kicked hard. Sang Yan said quietly, who isn't? However, the CP fans of Mr. U and Mr. SI are increasing day by day. The manager assistant was enthusiastic, it has already surpassed Zhang SICP, and the fault is number 1. They haven't made an official announcement yet, but it's no different from the official announcement now. Sang Yanking urged, when the official announcement is made, let's say hello to Weibo in advance, I'm afraid their programmers won't be able to handle it. Okay, the agent assistant asked suddenly, will teacher SI and Mr. U be photographed in a while? Or say hello now? Sang Yanking shook his head, and said earnestly, if the 2 of them can be photographed by the paparazzi, then the paparazzi can go directly to the intelligence bureau and become officers. The broker assistant stammered, say, that's right. And which paparazzi has the ability to photograph the two giants of 0 and T18? If there is such a paparazzi, he will definitely be promoted to chief investigator by 0 and T18. Studio downstairs. The sun is setting to the west, the sky is full of sunset, and the lights in the city are lit up one by one. The tall and slender man leaned against a tree, and the setting sun coated his clothes with a thin layer of gold, making him even more dignified. After hearing the footsteps, he turned his head, and there was already a smile in his eyes. He stretched out his hand towards the girl, and the person who caught her in the next second held her hand. What do you want to eat? I blinked, and pointed to the candied haws shop not far away. Does His Majesty still want to eat candied haws? I don't like sweets. Zion was stunned, and said in a low voice, at that time, I would be fascinated by looking at candied haws, just because I envied those children who were accompanied by others. It's too cold to be high. It's all over. I squeezed his palm and coaxed him, look at how beautiful Daxia is now, and there are many people by your side. If you don't want to eat candied haws, I can buy you something else. Would you like some baked gluten? Zion followed her gaze and watched from a distance. The long street is bustling with traffic. The mountains and rivers are peaceful and the people are safe. He smiled slightly. Guluk has always been very good. After finishing speaking, he took her to the snack street. Let's go. After dinner, I returned to the villa with 2 cups of milk tea in her arms, and took out the script that Chu Lingyun had passed to her. Jeju, Bai Jinyu ran over and whispered in her ear, I changed clothes by myself in hiding these few days, and I didn't lift my skirt. I praised her without conscience. Bai is awesome. How could she have such a stupid pixiu? If you raise it yourself, you can only get used to it. Bai Jinyu proudly put her hands on her hips, because the clothes Jeju made are so beautiful, I like them very much. I also saw Jeju say on the screen that it was because of me that I became a designer. I am so happy. I raised his eyebrows. Can Bai understand? Of course I can understand it. Bai Jinyu was furious. I'm not a 3-year-old kid. Jeju is super handsome on stage, and I even voted for you in your chat. I was silent. The mind is 8 years old, but it is actually no different from a child. Ding dong. The doorbell rang at this moment, followed by Xia Yangkai's voice, is Ching Ching here? I'll bring the brat over to see you. Here Fu leaned up to open the door. Auntie, come in quickly. Xia Yangkai came with Xia Yu. When was away, Xia Yu was here to take care of Bai. He is already very familiar with this place, and went to the refrigerator to get a bottle of sparkling wine with ease. Wow, Xia Yangkai's eyes lit up, and he hugged Bai Jinyu. Bai's dress is so beautiful. Did Ching Ching make it for you? Let Auntie hug her. Behind her, Xia Yu crossed his arms and glanced at the scene, then slightly closed his eyes. Bai Jinyu greeted her obediently and cleverly, hello, beautiful sister. Xia Yangkai was stunned for a moment, then he held his face and said happily, oh, what are you doing with such a sweet mouth? I'm old enough to be your mother. Xia Yu at the side raised his eyelid slightly when he heard the words, and let out a soft hum. Stinky boy, what do you mean? Xia Yangkai clenched his hand into a fist and smashed it on Xia Yu's head, and said in a gloomy voice, Bai called me pretty sister, are you unhappy? You have no EQ. Happy, very happy. Xia Yu raised his hand, loosened his collar, and smiled, I also call you beautiful sister. Xia, are you happy? Stop flattering me. Xia Yangkai didn't like this at all. You have inherited your father's smooth tongue, so my mother won't believe it. Xia Yu shrugged his shoulders, that's a pity, I have at least inherited my father's face, just enough to deceive pretty little girls. Xia Yangkai kicked her angrily. Xiaoyu avoided it easily, walked around and sat down, unscrewed the bottle cap, and took a sip of wine. Bai Jinyu blinked her eyes, then raised her hand suddenly. Juju, I know, this is the scumbag you often tell me, cheating little girls. Xiaoyu almost choked on the wine, ahem. He put down the bottle and smiled. Mr. Si, what did you teach? Si fucking. She raised her finger and emphasized, it's true that scumbags like to lie to little girls, but your brother Xiaoyu is different. Don't look at him with a scumbag face, but in fact he has never even held a girl's hand. Oh, Bai Jinyu was confused, a scumbag on the outside, but innocent on the inside. Xiaoyu also groaned, his smile deepened, and his voice sounded very bewitching. Do you want to try? Bai Jinyu stared at him blankly, her brain was shocked. Take your eyes back, don't give power to Xiao. Bai Xia Yankai slapped Xiaoyu's head again, hating iron for steel, use your scumbag face in the right place. Xiaoyu asked humbly, please tell me, what is a scumbag face? Bai Jinyu hesitated for a moment, and tentatively said, Juju said, it's because she looks like a vixen that can seduce people. Xiaoyu suddenly said, then it seems that teacher Si is a scumbag. After all, if I dress up as a woman, I will look like teacher Si. Si fucking's fist hardened. She smiled and put a basket of gold bricks on the table with a snap. Eat. Bai Jinyu's eyes lit up all of a sudden, and he quickly picked up a gold brick and began to chew it. After gnawing, she really felt sleepy and went back to the bedroom to sleep. Xiao Bai's IQ hasn't recovered yet. Xia Yankai was a little worried. You won't just keep this mental age. No, I've recovered quite a bit. Si fucking nodded. According to the speed at which his soul gathers, Xiao Bai will be able to recover to the psychological age of 18 next month, and he can go to school. Xia Yankai sighed, oh, it's hard for this little girl. When the time comes, I will ask you to pick her up every day, otherwise she will definitely be cheated in college. After finishing speaking, she patted Xiaoyu on the back. You can take care of Xiao Bai. If she loses a hair, I will never end with you. Xiaoyu hummed lazily, of course. Xia Yankai looked at him suspiciously, you brat is so easy to talk this time. Tell me, are you planning something? Xiaoyu raised his eyebrows and just smiled, no. He can't be angry. What does he care about with a little girl whose IQ is only 8 or 9 years old? It's not too late for him to continue when her IQ returns to a normal level. Early the next morning, Qin Xiao had 2 dark circles under his eyes, and his face was haggard. She didn't sleep all night, and received news that major brands asked her to pay liquidated damages. These liquidated damages add up to more than 1 billion yuan, and she doesn't have that much liquidity at all. Overnight, she fell from the top and became a street mouse that everyone shouted and beat. From heaven to hell, such a gap made her totally unacceptable. Qin Xiao wanted to ask others for help, but even Ruan Chengfang blocked her, and now she was completely desperate. Qin Xiao squeezed the phone tightly, madness flickered in his eyes. If she was going to die, she would definitely drag Si fucking into the water. She had already edited a Weibo on the phone, and when she was about to send it out, there was a knock on the door of the apartment. Qin Xiao's body trembled violently, she gritted her teeth, and opened the door after a while. You. Her words stopped abruptly because she saw the T18 logo on the visitor's clothes. Miss Qin Xiao, right, Roland put his hands in his beard and nodded, okay, don't ask who it is, someone reported that you were involved in several murder cases, let's go. Ma Officer Greeter said that there must be no tolerance. Qin Xiao's brain hummed, what are you talking about? Tisk Roland was too lazy to talk nonsense, took out an arrest warrant, waved his hand, take it away. No, Qin Xiao came to his senses and screamed, why do you listen to Si fucking? She is a star. Are you T18 doing this for personal gain? What kind of ecstasy did she give you, Zion? Roland looked strange, You don't know that Zero will be merged into T18, is it one of the betrothal gifts that chief you gave to our chief? A search officer hurriedly said, Deputy Minister, she definitely doesn't know, the boss hasn't announced it yet. Roland suddenly said, look at my memory, it doesn't matter, you know now. Good morning. If you have a monthly pass, you can vote for Ching Ching. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Ching Qian. Chapter 1026. Everyone in T18 knew that Tan Jingmo went to another small world to find Lu Qingning's scattered souls, so only Yu Jian and Si remained among the three giants. Although Roland also knew Si real name, he still used to call her Sir Margaret. Without him, it's just because Si destructive power after drinking was too strong in the past, even though it has been many years, it still makes him feel lingering. Boss, you said we have merged with Zero for so long, why haven't you seen the wedding between the chief and Mr. Yu? The investigator asked curiously again. Brother, can you still drink the wedding wine? Snapped. Roland slapped him on the head. What nonsense are you talking about? The chief is in good health, why should Chief Zero have to be sympathetic? It would be rude to marry so soon. The investigator was choked, and he gave a thumbs up. Boss, it's really you, or you know a lot. That's right, Roland said triumphantly, how else could I be your leader? But Qin Zio could no longer hear anything. She stood there blankly, her ears buzzing, as if countless bees were circling in her brain. Si is the chief of T18. Is this some kind of international joke? Why Zero and T18 merged is still a mystery to the outside world, and Qin Zio was also curious about it. But after all, these two giants in the intelligence world are too far away from her, and she is not qualified to pay attention. But when the real reason for the merger was presented to her, Qin Zio found that she couldn't accept it at all. What kind of feelings can make Yu Zion casually send out an intelligence empire? Qin Zio's lips trembled violently, she suddenly calmed down again, and smiled confidently. You are actors invited by Si, right? Tell her, I don't want her to scare people at all. Actors are specially invited for you. Why is your face so big? Roland muttered, if my performance hadn't been surpassed by a few dogs from Team Zero, you wouldn't even be able to see me. In Daxia territory, the Qinjun League is responsible for supervising this matter. He was the one who specifically reported Si and asked Jian Junmen to bring this matter to him. This time he must make a comeback in terms of performance. Qin Zio's palms had already started to sweat, and his nerves were broken. Let's go, stop talking nonsense. Roland gave her a sideways look, and interrupted her impatiently. You look like a dog, and you actually forced the little girl to commit suicide. If you didn't, the officer has found key evidence. I think you are really planning to get away with it in the entertainment circle. Qin Zio trembled violently, her face turned pale instantly, and she screamed, I didn't. You are talking nonsense. Some of the memories she forcibly forgotten were revived at this moment and became active again. That was a year ago. She and Mu Qing went to an event and met a fan of Mu Qing. Although she didn't like Mu Qing, she was very displeased that this fan took up Mu Qing's time with her, so she made people humiliate, ridicule and warn her. It's still the way she used to bully others on campus. It's just that she didn't expect that fan to suffer from severe depression and commit suicide not long after returning. Qin Zio panicked for a moment at first, but soon she put the matter behind her. She didn't know that the other party was suffering from depression, so what did the other party's initiative to end his life have to do with her? Can't even find her. How come? No, Roland looked at her coldly. Didn't you deliberately suppress the victim of depression and force her to commit suicide? It's a pity that you met the officer, and you can't escape. He couldn't help but put a pair of iron bracelets on Qin Zio. Qin Zio struggled violently. In order to imitate Si, She went to a martial arts teacher to practice martial arts, but her martial arts can only be used in acting, and she can't compare with the experienced T-18 investigator at all. Roland easily cleaned her up by himself, and snorted slightly, "You still imitate the officer? I don't even look at how worthy you are." Scheming and vicious, the investigator looked disgusted, bullying the weak because of his background. "Boss, you must not spare her lightly." "Of course," the officer said. Roland glanced at Chinzio, and snorted slightly. "Recidivists, of course, should be given a heavier trial." Chinzio's clothes were soaked in cold sweat, and his body trembled violently. Although she is not qualified to contact T-18, the news of T-18 arresting international criminals has appeared repeatedly, and she also knows T-18's methods. No matter how tough the international criminals are, they can't stand T-18's interrogation at all. Chinzio opened his eyes wide and shook his head desperately to refuse, but was pushed into the car by Roland. The investigator was beaming with joy. "I found out that our chief is the most dedicated. We never forget to fight against evil forces in the entertainment industry. We must let the chief make more movies and shows. Our performance is not worrying." "That's not true," Roland said. "The chief is the most dedicated worker. Otherwise, why would she be so angry when Chief Zero robbed her of goods? This means that robbing her is okay, but robbing her performance is not." A group of investigators. "Do you know a little too much?" "Sir." Roland got into the car, picked up his mobile phone, and excitedly reported to Sci-fi, "The criminal has been arrested according to your order. Please leave the rest to us, sir, please rest assured." "Okay." Sci-fi looked at the computer, pondered for a moment, and said, "I still need you to draw up an announcement. If anyone suffers from various violations, they can ask T-18 for help, regardless of the other party's background." After a pause, she wrote lightly, "I don't think there should be a backstage that I can't manage." As soon as these words were uttered, Roland felt as if he had been electrified. He immediately sat up straight with a serious expression. "Yes, sir." Call ended. Sci-fi sent the completed documents to T-18 Daxia branch. She leaned on the sofa and turned her head to look at the blue sky. The sun is scattered and the breeze turns gently. Birds fly through the air with green leaves in their mouths. Everything is quiet and beautiful. Sci-Fu tilted his chin and stared into the distance. When Ye Wanlin came back, she could proudly say that she had completed what they had not done. At that time, my sister will definitely praise her. Yu Zion stood quietly behind her, and did not break this beauty. His eyes fell on her, with unswerving tenderness until death. He was thankful that, after all the hardships she had been through, she was still a little kid who wanted candy. In front of those close to her, she is lively and childlike. That's fine. "Hey, brother 9, Sci-fi said, what are you doing standing there? Come and sit for a while." "Okay." Yu Zion nodded and smiled. "What are you thinking?" "I was wondering what world the second child and Xiaolu are in now." Sci-fi raised his eyebrows. "The list of worlds I compiled for him contains all kinds of worlds." Yu Zion hummed, "Maybe to him, it doesn't matter what the world is like. Even if it's a wasteland world full of ruins, as long as Lu Qingning can be found, that's enough." Although he started first, "Maybe I brought my sister back first." Sci-fi was full of enthusiasm. "I want to compete with him." "Okay." His voice was light, with a slight smile. He still cherished words like gold, but his words were forceful and reassuring. "I will accompany you." 9-9. At this time, there was a shout from upstairs. Sci-Fu tilted his head back. "Zio Bai." Bai Jinyu woke up, rubbed her eyes and ran towards her, then hugged her and cried, "Juju, I dreamed about a bad guy, and he ate me up." Sci-fi caught Bai Jinyu without teasing her, and asked patiently, "What does the bad guy look like?" I don't know." Bai Jinyu cried very sadly. "He is black all over his body, he is taller and bigger than me, I can't run him. It's alright, it's just a dream. I fucking patted her on the back and comforted her softly. The dream is the opposite, the reality is that you ate this bad guy in one bite. Really? Virginia burst into tears, but I think he's so scary, he's such a big black-hearted monster. I fucking. She was silent for a moment, then looked at Uzion faintly. Do you have any other kind? Oh, Uzion tilted her head, her voice was light, with a smile, I don't know either. Ziobai, you haven't recovered your strength yet, don't be afraid, most people can't beat you. I fucking looked serious. If there is such a black-hearted monster who wants to eat you, you can find me, and I will fight you for you. Juju is the best. Virginia was very happy. I feel like I've become smarter recently. I fucking nodded, thinking that she was about to regain her sanity, so she lowered her head. Let's hear it, how did you become smarter? Virginia proudly puffed up her chest. I can do junior high school math problems. I fucking, that is indeed becoming smarter. At the same time, she was very worried, and she didn't know when the silly Pixia would return to her normal 18 years old. Otherwise, she was really worried that Ziobai would be eaten by Uzion's kind. After I fucking thought for a moment, he still sent a message to Xiaoyu. I fucking, summer school starts in September, you must keep an eye on Ziobai to prevent people around her who have ill intentions for her and ensure her living environment. After the message is sent, it is returned within seconds. Xiaoyu, okay. I fucking put down his phone and felt relieved. The villa area where Qin Zio lived had a lot of celebrities, so the news of her arrest by T18 naturally couldn't be hidden, and it went straight to the trending searches. Hashtag Qin Zio, arrested hashtag. Hashtag T18 personally come to the door hashtag. Hashtag Qin Zio, intentional homicide hashtag. Hashtag detailed number of victims of bullying by Qin Zio these years hashtag. Netizens ate melons until they were full, and were so shocked that they became numb. Holy shit, went straight in, the biggest melon of the year. Another top-ranking collapse, this one is worse than Su Jianian and Tong Luyun before. Don't you think that Si fucking is paraquat for internal entertainment? How come whoever cooperates with her will collapse the house? I can't count how many collapsed. Can you figure out the sequence? Obviously it was Qin Zio who committed the crime himself, and it was finally exposed. Xiaoyu, Su Yang, Zhang Changning, and Qing Qing are on good terms. How come one is hotter than the other? It's not paraquat in the entertainment industry, it's pesticides in the entertainment industry. As long as you don't do illegal things, what are you afraid of? Fear and tremble, some scum in the entertainment industry. At the same time, Zhuheng Entertainment Company. Ruan Chengfang patted her chest, very grateful. Fortunately, the company terminated the contract with her in time, otherwise she would have been implicated. She saw what Qin Zio did to that little fan, but she didn't expect that it would affect her whole body, and everything would be exposed. Zhuheng Entertainment has only become popular in the past 3 years, and Mr. Chiu took over the entertainment company from the previous generation only 3 years ago. At that time, he still sneered at Si fucking's reputation as a member of the discipline committee of the entertainment industry, but now he had to believe it. Boss Chiu wiped his sweat, and ordered the secretary beside him, pay the taxes that should be paid as soon as possible, check the artists with major stains, and terminate the contract in advance. The secretary replied tremblingly, "Yes, Mr. Chiu." President Chiu slumped on the chair, not daring to take a rest, and immediately handed over all Qin Zio's files to T18. Now he only hopes that Qin Ji will roll as far as possible. Amid the turmoil, Xiaoyu slowly posted a Weibo. At V, see you in September. The accompanying picture is Daxia campus. See you in September, Xia. Why is brother Xia suddenly coming back to college? Could it be that he is planning to quit the circle and inherit the family property? No, goddess Si hasn't quit the circle yet. Why are you quitting, brother Xia? you have to realize that your family status is definitely not as high as that of Goddess Si. Don't worry, brother Sia has gone back to school, but there are still a few concerts this year. Didn't you find that he has been working hard in the past 3 years? I feel that maybe his family is bankrupt and needs to earn a lot of money. Sia, you like this comment? Most people really can't afford a pixie that can swallow mountains and seas. He will follow Si*'s instructions and keep watching by Jinyu. At the same time, T18 also issued an announcement according to Si*'s order. At T18 in Daxia Branch V, a letter to all citizens. If any citizen is violated in the future, you can ask T18 for help. Don't worry about the power and background of the offender. Our chief said that there is something to do. She is going around, there is no backstage that she can't solve. Please protect yourself, life is the most important thing, and all violators cannot escape legal sanctions. As soon as this announcement came out, the entire internet was shaken. God, who is this officer? Is it you, Zion? T18 and 0 are one piece anyway. Look carefully, she was used, not him, it was a female officer. Sister, marry me. This is Si studio. Sang Yanking was also amazed. Ching Ching, you have helped everyone. Her heart couldn't take it anymore. Si rubbed his chin. Is our studio very relaxed, with no work to do? Broker assistant interface, yeah, we are all sick. Si nodded, I understand. Before Sang Yanking asked her what she understood, she took out her mobile phone and clicked on Weibo to forward the latest announcement of T18. The action is done in one go. At V, as I said, you can also find Sister Sang. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Ching Qian. Chapter 1027. It's done. Si tapped on the keyboard and stretched comfortably. This way we will have work to do. She is such a caring star. Sang Yanking. Broker assistant. Everyone in the studio opened their mouths wide. Is there such an operation? Sang Yanking said that she still didn't know enough about Si. It's still teacher C's interest. The agent assistant coughed and said dryly, he found a job for us right away. Sang Yanking sighed, you are really good at taking jobs. Oops, the manager assistant slapped his head, and looked at Sang Yanking with a stiff expression. Sister Sang, you didn't say hello to the Weibo program department in advance, did you? Sang Yanking also came back to his senses. No. As soon as these two words were out of her mouth, her work cell phone rang. Sang Yanking thought of the promise she had made to the Weibo program department, and now she was a little afraid to accept it. She gritted her teeth, and then pressed the answer button. There was a burst of crying and howling, one after another, and each programmer cried in a different tone. Sang Yanking. Sure enough, Weibo had collapsed, with a huge influx of people, until every page was completely blank. Programmers are working overtime for emergency repairs. Ms. Sang, the head of the program department, wanted to cry, and complained loudly, after the agreement, you will take the initiative to break the news about something important. Why don't you say hello to us first? We have already expanded the capacity, and we still can't stand it? What a shame, teacher. Tell me what we should do. I'm sorry, it's our problem. Sang Yanking apologized nicely, this situation will never happen again in the future. Today was an accident, an accident. Accident? Accident is throwing a bomb casually. That's the chief of T18. Have you ever seen such an accident? The programmer chief was indignant, I don't believe you anymore. If I believe you again, I will be a dog. Sang Yanking. It doesn't have to be. At the end of the call, Sang Yan looked at Si quietly, Weibo has expanded the capacity for you several times, but it still can't resist your destructive power. Si fucking clasped his hands together. I understand, let me help them, and I won't have to work so hard in the future. Sang Yanking choked for a moment. You, don't scare them. As far as she knows, T18's firewall was built by her family's artists, and it can be called the strongest place in the world. A while ago, she was invited to the Liberty Continental Research Institute, and learned that the defense system here was also made by her artist. The Weibo program department urgently repaired it for half an hour before the app finally returned to normal. Netizens were also stuck for half an hour. As soon as the update was successful, they rushed in and squeezed into Si fucking Weibo. When seeing the 3 words I said, netizens finally confirmed that it was not a problem with their opening method, but the fact that it was shocking. The moos were also dumbfounded. Si fucking, you, do you want to be so outrageous? I must be blind. I now know that baby Ching Ching is absolutely true love for acting. If you look at the fields she is involved in, she can dominate the world in any of them. Convinced, Si fucking said she was right. Can you be a little smarter? I also said that I am the reincarnation of Emperor Yin. If you give me money, I will make you high officials. And 2 minutes later, T18 also reposted Si fucking's repost with an attached text. At T18 stationed in Daxia Branch V, everything is under the command of the chief. As soon as this Weibo came out, all doubts were broken. It's true, brothers and sisters, I'm cracked. Oh my god, there are so many tricks now. Who still remembers the summer military training? Ching Ching is the instructor, the most senior officer of T18 is the instructor. The summer college students 5 years ago have all graduated now. Some went abroad for advanced studies, some went to graduate school in the school, and the rest entered the society and started working. After learning that Si fucking was the top officer of T18, the graduates of this year were all excited and began to show off in the Xia University campus forum. The internet is full of fish and dragons, and the market is sinking sharply. There is no shortage of jealous monsters and lovers at any time. Okay, even if it's true, isn't Si fucking's tone a little too loud? Is there really no backstage in this world that she can't afford to mess with? I don't believe it. People who say such things are usually beaten in the face. Upstairs, first, he holds T18 in his hand, and second, his partner holds 0, the two have become a family, and the world's intelligence is in their system. Do you think they can do it? When did Chief Yu say that he was Si fucking's partner? Did you participate in a romance show just because you walked a red carpet? Don't be too narcissistic. It's fine to fool my buddy with such words, don't fool yourself, buddy, believe me, you won't lose a piece of meat. If you take it seriously, it will become a joke. Si fucking and T18 made such a statement, and soon received many calls for help. Especially in the studio, Sang Yanking felt for the first time what it means to be too busy to touch the ground. There are cases of school violence, violations of rights and interests by black and evil forces, cases of replacement of places by powerful people, etc. T18 has accepted them all. For a time, the wind and rain were turbulent, and people were panicked. And when Roland learned that Si fucking had assigned the task to the studio, he burst into tears. Sir, you are killing me, Roland called her, weeping and wailing. My performance has dropped a lot recently, and it is even more difficult to grab tasks. How can you still put my all the missions out? Roland, I have always believed in you, Si fucking said unhurriedly. You are a person who can create opportunities by yourself. If no one is looking for you, you can go to others and take the initiative to discover the case. Yeah, Roland was awakened immediately, and he flattered, Sir, you are still smart. I will visit every city and see what despicable people are full of evil. Si fucking raised his eyebrows. Well, let's go. Roland put down his phone, his fighting spirit was high, and he waved his hand. "Let's go, brothers, let's go on a mission together, this time we must surpass that group of dogs." This large-scale attack by evil forces lasted for more than a month. Many family forces have settled down, and they are not as domineering as before, and they dare not take advantage of the situation to oppress others. At first they didn't take Sci-fucking's word seriously at all, but later they found that Sci-fucking was serious and didn't give them any time to breathe. Their backstage is tough, and Sci-fucking let them know that she is tougher than them. Time flies by, and summer is coming to an end. At the end of August, 49 City, Xia University. As the highest institution of higher learning in the Great Xia Empire, Xia University is about to welcome a new batch of students. In addition, Xia University's military training has always been the rotation of T-18 and 0 inspectors as instructors. This year, more students signed up for Xia University. The president of Xia University was so happy that he couldn't close his mouth. He even called the president of Tsinghua University to show off. He was so angry that the president of Tsinghua University announced the severance of diplomatic relations with Xia University for 3 days. While the principal of Xia University was looking at this year's freshman files, there was a knock on the office door. The principal of Xia University immediately put away his smile, and coughed with a serious expression, "Please come in." The door was pushed open, and the girl was wearing a simple white t-shirt, light color jeans, and a baseball cap. "Student SI, Principal Xia's eyes lit up. "Why are you here? I saw your fans on the internet released your itinerary, saying that you are still filming Changxian. Principal, long time no see." "I am indeed still filming." SI fucking shook hands with him, smiled. "There is something very important, and I would like to ask you for your help." "Tell me," the principal of Xia University said with a serious expression. "I will do my best." SI fucking has made a lot of contributions to Xia University, and successfully established diplomatic relations between Xia University and Zhou Intercontinental Research Institute. My younger sister has reached the age of enrollment this year, but she has already missed the college entrance examination. SI fucking nodded slightly. "I remember that Xia University has launched a special recruitment route in the past few years. As long as the special recruitment exam can pass 260 points, you can make an exception for admission." "That's right." Principal Xia nodded. "This year's special recruitment is not over yet. The special recruitment examination does not take up the quota of freshmen, it is an additional special approval. If you pass the special examination, you can study together with other students, and you can also have the privilege of being an exchange student in Free State. Then I'll trouble the principal to get an unopened special enrollment paper." SI fucking said. "I'll let my sister come over." "No problem." The principal of Xia University was very happy. "I will ask the academic affairs team to send a new confidential test paper." SI fucking retreated, went downstairs, and lazily called out, "Xiaobai." Juju Baijinyu's eyes lit up, and he waved at her, "I'm here." In 2 months, Baijinyu's mind finally returned to her normal 18-year-old age. But because the souls haven't gathered yet, her memory is still blank, and she doesn't know anyone except SI fucking. And because of the recovery of her mind, she completely forgot about the child's behavior in the past 2 months, and she also forgot that she is a Pixiu. The current Baijinyu is no different from an 18-year-old human girl. She was standing under the tree in a white dress, with a peaceful expression. The breeze was blowing, and the sunlight cast mottled shadows on her face through the leaves. SI fucking is very fortunate that Xiaobai can live a life like ordinary people. During this period of time, she dreamed of the battle on the holy day many times, and Xiaobai turned into nothingness and spread out, and she couldn't catch it no matter what. If Xiaobai can't recover his combat power, she will always protect Xiaobai. "We have an exam today." SI fucking stepped forward. "Are you sure?" "Yeah." Baijinyu nodded. "I got full marks in the sets of papers Juju gave me yesterday." Xiaobai is the only descendant of the Pixiu family. Pixio is a psychic beast. Xiaobai has been fascinated by her side and has a great interest in research. After all, Xiaobai just lost his memory now, not dementia. Okay, let's go. I fucking patted her head. If you have any difficulties after enrolling, you must call me, okay? Jeju, don't worry about filming, I can do it by myself. Bai Jinyu waved her small fist. I'll beat anyone who bullies me. Women don't move their hands. I fucking was silent. It is worthy of being raised by her, and she has won her true biography. I fucking thought for a while, but still didn't say that. She specially asks you to take care of Xiaobai. You can beat yourself, but you can't call me. Bai Jinyu looked serious. Understood, if I can't beat them enough, I will come to you and ask you to beat them hard for me. I fucking's fox eyes curled up, and he smiled softly. You're so smart, go. 2 hours later, the principal of Xia University and the director of the Academic Affairs Office stared at Bai Jinyu's completed paper. There are only 3 special examinations, mathematics, physics, and English, each with a total score of 100 points. Except for the 2 points deducted for the English composition, Bai Jinyu got full marks for all other questions. The director of the Academic Affairs Office took a deep breath. Student C's family's genes are too strong, it's so terrifying. The principal of Xia University pushed his glasses, and he was happy again. Go and arrange a dormitory for Bai. The director of the Academic Affairs Office looked at Bai Jinyu with a kind expression. Do you have any requests, student Bai? Here, I can apply for a single dormitory for you. No need. Bai Jinyu shook her head. I'm just like the other students. The director of the Academic Affairs Office nodded. Student C's family style is also very good. If it were him, he would have such a powerful sister who would have yelled on the street every day with a loudspeaker. Let's go. The director of the Academic Affairs Office said. I have already contacted the dormitory management office. The bedding is prepared by the school. Just follow me. Bai Jinyu followed. She wore a mask to hide her face, but she still attracted a lot of attention along the way. For a 517, the housekeeper handed a key to Bai Jinyu. Over there is the elevator. Bai Jinyu put it away, bid farewell to the director of the Academic Affairs Office, and went to her dormitory. The undergraduate dormitory of Xia University has 4 people in one room, with beds and desks, and a large balcony. There is already a girl in the dormitory. Bai Jinyu took off her mask and greeted her actively. Hi, my name is Bai Jinyu. Wow, the girl opened her eyes wide. Oh my god, you are so beautiful. Is it really my roommate who is so beautiful? My name is Bian Suiyan, from the Department of Chemistry. Are you too? I was specially recruited. Bai Jinyu smiled. I take classes with other students from the special recruit class, and there is no specific major. Special recruitment exam, Bian Suiyan yelled again. It's amazing. If you don't say it, I thought you were a star who came back to school like Xiaoyu. Thank you. Bai Jinyu raised her head upon hearing this. Jinyu, don't you follow stars? Bian Suiyan handed her a photo of Xiaoyu, but Xiaoyu is very popular, you should know if you don't follow stars. Bai Jinyu stared at the photo and tapped himself on the head. She always felt that she had forgotten something, but I fucking told her not to think about it deliberately, and she would recover after getting familiar with the surrounding environment. Forcibly recovering will hurt the body instead, and the effort will fall short. With a ding, the phone received a friend request. Bai Jinyu took it out, and paused when she saw the name, feeling a little dazed. What's the matter? Bian Suiyan came over. Is it some suitor? She looked down and saw the word thank you in the friend application section. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1028. Apart from the name, there is no other redundant information in the verification message column. The profile picture is a white puppy, but I can't tell what breed it is, it just makes people feel very cute. Bai Jinyu stared at this portrait and felt very familiar. But as long as she tried to think about it, she would feel a splitting headache. Bai Jinyu had to stop. Hey, Bian Suiyan opened her eyes wide and asked in surprise, do you know anyone named Xiaoyu? It's the same name as a big star. This name sounds like a handsome guy. Bai Jinyu thought about it for a while, then shook her head, I don't know. In her current memory, she grew up with SI fucking and only knew SI fucking. She turned off her phone and didn't care about her friends on WeChat. But there are quite a few people named Xiaoyu all over the country. Bian Suiyan waved her hand, but there really isn't anyone as handsome as Xiaoyu. Jinyu, you don't know that he should know SI fucking, right? Very similar, they are called rich siblings. Bai Jinyu nodded, I know about Ching Ching, and I also followed her super chat. Bian Suiyan was very happy, great, I'm also Musi, and we will share the burden from now on. Bai Jinyu thought for a while, and secretly took out a signed photo of SI fucking from her school bag, for you. No, this won't work, it's too expensive, I can't take it. Bian Suiyan was frightened, not many people have this autographed photo. SI fucking is very friendly. When fans meet her on the road, they can get group photos and autographed photos. Every once in a while, she will carry a new signed photo with her. A big fan in Kahua even collected all the autographed photos since her debut. It's okay, I have a lot. Bai Jinyu stuffed them into Bian Suiyan's hands, take me around the school, I'm not very familiar with it yet. Bian Suiyan was moved to tears, Jinyu, you are so kind. Her roommate is beautiful and good at studying, but the little girl looks soft and soft-spoken, she looks very deceitful. Bian Suiyan clenched her fist. She decided that she must work hard to exercise, protect her roommates, and prevent being cheated by the evil wolf. On the other side, Su Yang's studio. Xiaoyu watched his friend request sent out, but there was no movement. His long legs were bent, his long eyelashes drooped, casting some shadows, his expression was unclear. The sun shone in from the huge floor-to-ceiling windows, dyeing his short black hair a light blonde. I have to admit that Xiaoyu has an excellent skin. Compared with SI fucking, some of his facial features follow the wind, and they are 3 points more aggressive and deeper. Brother Xia, why do you suddenly want to go back to Xia University? On the side, Su Ziun muttered, but he still packed his luggage hard-workingly. Didn't you say that you had already graduated from college before you participated in youth? Although Xia Yangkaiu and Yun Fengzi have a free-ranging attitude towards Xiaoyu, they are both hands-on when it comes to education and evolutionary training, and they will never relax. At the age of 17, Xiaoyu had already completed all the courses in the university. It's just that he has always been lazy, and doesn't like to be bound by rules and regulations, so he didn't continue to take the postgraduate entrance examination. Yes, Xiaoyu came back to his senses, and he said unhurriedly, I haven't experienced the life of a university campus much, I just went back to play and find someone by the way. Looking for someone, Su Ziun was very curious, who can you not find? Even if you can't find it, teacher Si can find it. Xiaoyu squinted a pair of fox eyes that were the same as Si fucking, and smiled nicely, a little heartless, very heartless. Su Ziun was a little sad. He felt that his IQ must be insufficient, that's why he couldn't understand Xiaoyu's words. After packing his luggage, he was so tired that he collapsed on the ground. As soon as he turned his head, he saw Xiaoyu staring at the phone screen in a daze. Brother Xia, you have used this avatar for several years, isn't this the pet that Mr. Si kept? Su Ziun scratched his head, but why haven't I seen this little thing recently? It really likes you. Xiaoyu didn't respond to the sentence, he paused for a moment, and said flatly, it's not a pet. His voice was so low that Su Ziun couldn't hear clearly, what? It's nothing. Xiaoyu straightened up, with a lazy expression, and picked up the suitcase, let's go. Here we come. Suzy-un also followed behind him, and they went downstairs together. Suzy-un didn't have much talent in studies, but he also envied the university campus life, so he asked Su-yang for leave, and went to Xia University with Xiaoyu, and planned to sit in for 2 months. The two came to the gate of the studio and bumped into 2 other people head-on. God Su, Suzy-un waved his hand, very pleasantly surprised. Sister Zhang is here too. Did you just come back from recording the show? Starlight Channel has launched a new singing and dancing talent show. Zhang Changning is the dance instructor, and Su Yang is the flying guest who is in charge of the temporary singing instructor. Xiaoyu raised his eyebrows, his eyes fell on Su Yang and Zhang Changning's hands, and his voice was drawn out, "You are." The 2 hands parted quickly. To be precise, Zhang Changning unilaterally shook off Su Yang's hand. Su Yang looked at his missing hand and fell silent for a while. Only then did Suzy-un notice the movements of the 2 of them, and his eyes widened. God Su, Sister Zhang, when did you have any good news? In the past 3 years, Su Yang and Zhang Changning have not been photographed on the same occasion many times, but netizens have also found it tricky. Whenever Zhang Changning participated in the programs, Su Yang would appear in various ways. Suning CP is also a popular CP, extremely popular. As a star of Su Yang's studio, Suzy-un has also been interrogated many times by reporters about the relationship between Su Yang and Zhang Changning. He always replied honestly that he knew nothing. As it turned out, it was just because the 2 were hiding it too well. Zhang Changning's murderous eyes flicked past Suzy-un's body, Suzy-un's legs trembled in fright, and he looked at Xiaoyu expressionlessly. Tell me, you didn't see anything. Xiaoyu's eyebrows were raised higher, and he said kindly, okay, I didn't see anything. Su Yang coughed lightly and raised his head. Is there anyone else in the studio? No. No more, Suzy-un stammered, not even a single mosquito, I didn't see or hear it. Su Yang. Zhang Changning. Let's go first. Xiaoyu didn't give Suzy-un a chance to speak, and lifted him up with one hand. Go ahead. After stuffing Suzy-un into the car, Xiaoyu threw the suitcase into the trunk and drove away. Su Yang stretched out his hand again. There is no one else, I can hold you now. No, Zhang Changning refused very ruthlessly. Who knows if someone will show up again in a while. Su Yang said in a low voice, obviously I promised before, today I can hold you for an hour. Zhang Changning did not soften his heart. 1 hour for me is 10 minutes. Su Yang. As gentle as him, he also had murderous intentions towards Suzy-un and Xiaoyu. These 2 brothers ruined his business. Su Yang suppressed the killing intent in his heart, and reissued the invitation. Then Zhang, come up and listen to the music. Zhang Changning hesitated for a moment. Okay. At the same time, on the way to Xiata. Brother Xia, will I be silenced by God Su and Sister Zhang? Suzy-un cried, I saw something I shouldn't have seen. Xiaoyu was thoughtful, no. Suzy-un wondered, why? With your IQ, you will forget about it in 3 days. Suzy-un. He felt he was insulted. But God Su is not young anymore, it's time to fall in love, Suzy-un said, but Sister Zhang seems to be hard to chase, and God Su is in trouble. Xiaoyu thought casually. The little princess of the League of Divine Doctors is indeed hard to chase. In the past 3 years, the League of Miraculous Doctors has gradually appeared in the public sight. Some elders even accepted the employment of the #1 hospital of Siju City and established a separate specialist clinic. Zhang Changfeng also succeeded in being promoted to the youngest elder of the Divine Doctor League. Brother Xia, we agreed that whoever gets out of the order first is a dog, Suzy-un muttered. Of course my failure is sad, but my brother's success is heartbreaking. Xiaoyu drove the car without looking sideways, and he said, Wang. Suzy-un. He was shocked and indignant. You left the order? When? Why didn't I know? If Xiaoyu leaves the order, Weibo will explode, right? Not yet, but sooner or later, Xiaoyu said unhurriedly, so I won't be your brother anymore, you can be alone. Su Ziun. He is going to make a fuss. On August 29, the official website of Xia University released the notice of this year's military training. The weather is the hottest at this time of year, and the students are complaining. However, this year's military training is a carnival for freshmen. At 12 o'clock, SI posted a Weibo. At V, military training, see you in Xia Da. She was accompanied by a rare photo. In the photo, she was wearing the uniform of the T-18 search chief, with a cap and a gun, with calm eyebrows and high spirits. Although it is a modern costume, it makes people instantly dream back to Zhang Ziyu in The Female General of Zhenguo. Xia University officials forwarded this Weibo. At V, warmly welcome SI to serve as the chief instructor of this military training. The mooses are all boiling. I said that the national male god is also SI, who agrees and who opposes. No one objected, Ching Ching is a baby. OMG, Xiaoyu went back to Xia University to study as a graduate student, and Goddess SI led military training again. What good luck are you freshmen in Xia University this year, put me back in college again. As far as I know, Xiaoyu never went to college, right? Why can I enter Xia University, go through the back door? This, Xiaoyu and SI have a very good relationship, so it's normal to go through the back door. Tisk tisk, I didn't expect SI to set such a double standard again. Why did he let his own people go through the back door? Who knows which wealthy family Xiaoyu belongs to? This year's paparazzi are so bad that they can't even find out the background. If I knew earlier, I would have applied for Xia University, and now it's too late to regret it. Wu, can you let Xia University and Tsinghua University have a friendship, and let the children of Tsinghua University also go to military training? Cheng Xian finished filming so soon, great speed. Tell me the crew, how did you manage to shoot fast and well? I just watched the special effects of these few trailers and it cost billions of dollars. On August 31st, the crew of Cheng Xian released the finale photos and the last trailer, which fully aroused everyone's appetite. Countless viewers are looking forward to it. What netizens don't know is that Cheng Xian not only didn't burn money to make special effects, but also saved a lot of money. He didn't even need to allocate special funds for optimization. The only thing the crew has to do is to edit the video into a film and send it to Daxia TV for review. If the speed is fast, it is expected to be released globally next month. At this time, there were screams in both the boys' and girls' dormitories of Xia University, one after another. Oh my god, Jinyu, Bian Suiyan was very excited. Ching Ching is going to be our instructor. Am I dreaming? Bai Jinyu held her chin. It's true, she told me. Si was still afraid that she would not be able to get acquainted with campus life, so he offered to Xia University to be the chief instructor of this military training. She told you. Who are you? A slightly sarcastic female voice sounded at the door. How can you put gold on your face like this? Bai Jinyu's expression didn't change much. Bian Suiyan frowned and looked up. Standing at the door was a tall girl with famous tags all over her body. The girl took off her sunglasses, her eyes were full of sarcasm. Si is not something you just know if you want to. She has a lot of fans, so don't take yourself for a while. What is Si status now? Even if her family wanted to see Si they couldn't rank up. An ordinary student of Xia University could do it? Bian Suiyan stood up abruptly, and sneered, what's your business? You're so excited, have you broken your defense? I broke the defense, the girl glanced contemptuously. I just kindly remind you that even my family can't get in touch with Si circle, so don't even think about it. She didn't bother to say anything, and brought the suitcase in. Bian Suiyan said in a low voice, Jinyu, sharing a dormitory with this kind of person, I'm afraid I won't be able to think about peace. It's okay, Bai Jinyu thought for a while and comforted her, I'm a good fighter. Listening to Bai Jinyu's soft voice, Bien Suiyan said quietly, your voice sounds like a soft girl. Bai Jinyu was stunned, she bared her teeth, is this fierce? Bien Suiyan. Oh no, it's even cuter. But her roommate apparently didn't realize this yet. It's noon, let's go to the cafeteria for dinner. Bien Suiyan glanced at the time, I heard that Xiaoyu arrived 2 days ago, maybe we can meet him in the cafeteria. There was a sneer from behind. Bien Suiyan couldn't hold back her anger, why are you laughing, you can't control yourself, are you sick? This is the dormitory for undergraduate students, Xiaoyu is in the dormitory for graduate students, the two dormitory areas are far apart, and the cafeteria is the same, do you still want to meet by chance? What dream are you doing? The girl crossed her arms, but if you want to see Xiaoyu so much, why don't you get on good terms with me, I can take you to see him, how about it? Bai Jinyu slowly raised her head. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1029. Her appearance is not aggressive, with beautiful eyebrows and eyes, and some baby fat on her cheeks. Her eyes were also slightly bent, and she was full of smiles, but her momentum was extremely strong. Only then did Bien Suiyan realize that Bai Jinyu's pupils were purple, crystal clear, and very beautiful. No need, Bai Jinyu looked directly at the girl, I'm not interested in Xiaoyu, so take care of yourself. The girl's face suddenly darkened, what are you talking about? How dare you talk to me like that? Do you know that I am Zhuang Jiao? Zhuang Jiao has grown up so big, and no one has ever treated her so disrespectfully. I don't know, I've never heard of it. Where did the pretender come out? Bai Jinyu pulled Bien Suiyan, this is not your home, no one is spoiling you. Before Zhuang Jiao could react, the two had already left the dormitory. With a bang, Zhuang Jiao closed the door of the dormitory angrily. Bien Suiyan frowned, Jinyu, should we contact the housekeeper to change a dormitory? That Zhuang Jiao looks like a princess. Everyone has to respect her, otherwise she won't be happy. Why did we move? Bai Jinyu said flatly, she came later, let her move out. It's true to say so, but. Bien Suiyan hesitated, after all, she is from the dealer, and we are just from ordinary families, so we can't compete with her. Bai Jinyu tilted her head, the banker. The banker has shares in Zhuheng Media and is a major shareholder, Bien Suiyan explained, so she is very familiar with all the stars in the entertainment circle, and she probably has a lot of resources in her hands. Bai Jinyu nodded, I haven't heard of it, don't be afraid. You really don't have to be afraid, Bien Suiyan snorted slightly, if she dares to take advantage of the situation to overwhelm others and do something, we'll go directly to T18. The two chatted as they walked, and soon came to the cafeteria. School has not officially started yet, and there are not many people in the cafeteria. Jinyu, the stir-fries at this window are very delicious. Bien Suiyan was very excited, do you eat spicy food? I recommend you to eat stir-fried yellow beef. Bai Jinyu nodded, I will eat. The two lined up at the number 3 fried window. At this moment, exclamations suddenly erupted in the cafeteria. Bai Jinyu turned her head. There were many people around the door, but she was still able to see Xiaoyu, who just walked in from the door. He is 1.88 meters tall, with lazy eyebrows and eyes, very outstanding. Ah! It's Xiaoyu, Bien Suiyan grabbed Bai Jinyu's arm, look, Jinyu. He even came to our cafeteria to eat. Xia University occupies a very large area, and there are 12 cafeterias alone. The location of undergraduate dormitory and postgraduate dormitory can be said to be one south and one north. The distance is very far, and it takes 20 minutes to walk. After Bien Suiyan screamed, she was very puzzled, Why did he travel so far to eat? Bai Jinyu thought for a while, maybe he needs to exercise. That's right, Bien Suiyan suddenly realized, after all, you are a celebrity, so you should pay attention to body management. Bai Jinyu looked away and continued to line up. For her, the sky and the earth are big, and eating is the biggest thing. The students in the cafeteria were also very excited. Thank you, bro. Brother Xie is alive. Brother Xie, please sign. Brother Xie, what are you eating? I'll treat you. Xiaoyu raised his hand to signal the people around him to be quiet. He smiled, I'm hungry, let me eat first, okay. Okay, okay, no problem. The students backed away, but their eyes were still glued to Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu scanned the cafeteria with his eyes, then raised his foot and walked towards a team. Bai Jinyu felt the eyes falling on her from behind. Before she could turn her head, the sound of footsteps came to a stand behind her, and the faint fragrance of mint came slowly and landed on her neck, which was a little itchy. She froze for a moment, turned her head quickly, met a pair of seductive fox eyes, and her heart skipped a beat. It seemed that a long time ago, she had seen such a pair of eyes many times. Bai Jinyu thought for a moment and understood. Xiaoyu and Si fucking look alike, no wonder she feels familiar. While she was flying out of the sky, the line had already reached her. The cafeteria uncle smiled and asked, Girl, what do you want to eat? Bai Jinyu came back to her senses, a small fried yellow beef. Okay, the cafeteria uncle said cheerfully, where's the young man? Xiaoyu said slowly, just like her, I want a share. The uncle in the canteen neatly poured the ingredients into a pot and started frying. Bien Suiyan was queuing up at the dining window on the side. She was very excited. Jinyu, does this count as you and Xiaoyu had a one-pot meal? Ah, I'm so excited. Bai Jinyu, he shouldn't be deaf. The implication is that you speak too loudly. Xiaoyu suddenly turned his head and raised his eyebrows. I am indeed not deaf. Bien Suiyan immediately covered her mouth with tears streaming down her face. Sorry, she was so excited. A pot of fried yellow beef was soon out of the oven. Bai Jinyu took his own plate and sat down with Bien Suiyan in an empty seat. The stool was not hot yet, and there was only a snap, which was the sound of the dinner plate being put down. Xiaoyu sat down opposite her. Behind him, Su Ziun complained, Brother Xie, what are you doing so fast? You have to go to the cafeteria 2 kilometers away to eat, my legs hurt. Xiaoyu said, you can shut up. Su Ziun immediately shut up. Bai Jinyu was silent. Why does she have the feeling that Xiaoyu has been following her? But she really didn't know him. Su Ziun was very familiar. He said warmly, Hi, hello, my name is Su Ziun, you look so cute, what's your name? As soon as the sentence came out, he felt a chill instantly, and goosebumps covered his arms. Bai Jinyu spoke slowly. Jeju said that only when there are no words to praise others, will they say cute. Su Ziun. Such a cute little girl, how can she speak such hurtful words? Xiaoyu held back a smile, and said unhurriedly, well, that's right. Bai Jinyu lowered her head to pick up the rice, her cheeks bulging like a little squirrel. Bien Suiyan looked at Xiaoyu and then at Bai Jinyu, her eyes suddenly lit up. She announced that she had obtained a new CP. After lunch, the students gathered around Xiaoyu asking for autographs. Bai Jinyu yawned, her brows and eyes were sleepy. She leaned on Bien Suiyan's shoulder and closed her eyes to rest her mind, until there was another commotion in the cafeteria. She opened her eyes and looked dimly. It was a group of boys who invited Xiaoyu and Su Ziun to play basketball. The other students also applauded, looking forward to it. Brother Xie, come play basketball. Su Ziun beckoned to Xiaoyu, although we are old, we can still play a game. Xiaoyu turned his head, here we come. Let's go, Jinyu, let's go to Bien Suiyan regained her spirits immediately, It seems that Xiaoyu has never played basketball before, so I can feast my eyes today. 10 minutes later, on the basketball court, the two sides had already changed into sportswear. The students surrounded the inner 3 floors and the outer 3 floors, picked up their mobile phones and started taking photos and posting on Weibo. The cheers around him were higher and higher, but Bai Jinyu yawned, his eyes drifted, he didn't pay attention to the basketball, and fell asleep. After an unknown amount of time, she suddenly heard a shout. "Careful! Noob!" Bian Suiyan also blurted out in shock, "Jinyu, get out of the way." With that said, she went to pull Bai Jinyu. Bai Jinyu was still a little confused. When she raised her head, she saw the basketball flying towards her. It was close at hand, and it was about to hit her on the head. She stretched out her hand subconsciously. Boom! With a loud noise, the basketball was knocked into the air and flew outside the playground. The whole playground was silent. Xiaoyu's footsteps stopped, and the fox's eyes narrowed. Su Ziun stammered, "Xia, brother Xia, this little girl looks soft and weak, but she is actually a strong man." After finishing speaking, he stretched out his arm to bump into Xiaoyu. "Brother Xia, what do you think?" Xiaoyu tilted his head, curled his lips, smiled inexplicably, and said lazily, "I think of a puppy who likes to run with a ball, it's very cute." Su Ziun. Bai Jinyu, who has excellent hearing. She is so angry. Why did this person call her a dog? Bai Jinyu turned her head away, furious. The basketball didn't know where it flew, and the basketball game was suspended. Bian Suiyan was also very worried about Bai Jinyu. "Jinyu, let's go back first, you have a good rest." Bai Jinyu nodded obediently. Back in the dormitory, Zhuang Jiao was gone, so Bai Jinyu climbed onto the bed and turned on her phone. "Si, how is it? Are you still used to it?" "Bai, Juju, college life is wonderful, I like it very much." "Si, that's good, tell me something." Bai Jinyu closed her eyes and fell asleep until night. "Jinyu, someone called the dormitory just now to look for you." Bian Suiyan poked her head, "It said it was at the back door of the dormitory, and it will be fine when you wake up." Bai Jinyu stretched her waist, "Okay, I'll go right away." She changed her clothes and shoes, and came to the back door of the dormitory. Miss Bai seeing her coming out, Feng San handed over the basket cautiously. "Miss Si asked me to bring you some food. I don't know if you are still used to it in the past 2 days at school, but I'm afraid you will be hungry. So I'll hurry over and deliver it to you." Bai Jinyu tilted her head and looked at him, as if she didn't remember who he was. Feng San was very frustrated. He managed to brush his face enough in front of Miss Bai, but when Miss Bai recovered her normal mind, he forgot about him again. But Miss Bai couldn't even remember Brother 9, so Feng San's heart was more or less balanced. "I'm under Miss Si and Brother Ju," Feng San added, "I'll bring you food." Bai Jinyu looked at him like he was mentally retarded, who would eat gold. "Feng San. You." Seeing that Bai Jinyu's expression didn't look like a fake, he secretly thought that something was wrong. Miss Bai doesn't seem to eat gold anymore." Feng San immediately walked 2 steps away and called Si. He was very nervous and lowered his voice, "What should I do? It doesn't mean that Pixiu can only be eaten gold and the ores of the 8 major mines, will eating other things cause diarrhea? Pixiu is a walking treasure appraisal machine. If Bai showed disgust, then this thing must be fake. On the contrary, if there is a wolf-like green light in its eyes, then it is a rare baby. Well, her body has actually been wiped out." Si paused, and then said in a low voice, "The body I reshaped for her also needs her to constantly adapt to it. In the beginning, although she had a human body, she still had the character of Pixiu. In the second stage, she will completely treat herself as a human being and forget all the habits of Pixiu. When she finally recovers, Her soul and body are completely integrated, and Xiaobai can freely switch between Pixiu and human body. Only then did Feng San heave a sigh of relief. So that's the case, so it won't harm her body if she eats human food now. No, it's just that she's picky eater. Sci-fi rubbed his chin. Gold is also reserved for her, it's hard currency. At the end of the call, Feng San rearranged his words. Miss Xiaobai, I made a mistake. I asked you to buy things with gold. Okay. Bai Jinyu hugged the basket happily. Tell Juju, I really like golden things. Feng San wiped his sweat. Although Miss Xiaobai has forgotten that she is a Pixiu, this habit of liking gold has been engraved into her bone marrow, and she can't change it no matter what. On September 1st, the summer military training officially began. What surprised and delighted all the students was that not only Sci-Fi was the chief instructor, but Xiaoyu was also in the instructors team. Bai Jinyu was still very lethargic recently, and she was still in a daze when the students in the square team cheered for Xiaoyu's arrival. Stand in a military posture for half an hour first. Xiaoyu was also wearing an instructor's uniform. All stand at attention. Bai Jinyu woke up and stood up straight. It was very easy for her to stand in a military posture. She looked at the distant sky and began to imagine wildly in her brain until she held her hat with one hand. The hat wasn't put on properly. Xiaoyu said lightly, it's hot, be careful of getting sunburned. He straightened the hat for her and pushed it down a little. The brim of the hat covered the sun, and Bai Jinyu's vision was slightly clear. Xiaoyu was a head taller than her. From this angle, he could see his long eyelashes and perfect jawline. In the entertainment circle, Xiaoyu is also known as the top male figure with Shen Yan. He has a lazy body and a lazy appearance, and his fox eyes seem to be able to confuse people, directly making people fall. It does have a good skin, no wonder there are so many fans. Xiaoyu has debuted for 6 years, but there is no scandal at all. Bai Jinyu stared at the lower half of his face. Her thoughts began to drift away. Suddenly there was a laugh in his ear, light and fluttering. Then, Bai Jinyu felt that her bald head was pinched by a cold hand, and that hand stuffed her bald head into the hat again. She blushed. Half is drying, half is gas. She learned this bald head tutorial for a long time yesterday from the video before she got a perfect hairstyle, but Xiaoyu pinched it all of a sudden. Bai Jinyu stared at the culprit, but the culprit Xiaoyu had already stepped back to check the standing posture of other students. 15 minutes later, some students could no longer hold on. Bai Jinyu still stood upright. Seeing Xiaoyu turning back again, she couldn't help becoming vigilant. He looked at her and said something silently with his mouth. When will you pass, my buddy? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1030. He looked down at her, and reached out to help her hat again. The girl's skin was extremely white, with a faint golden glow under the sunlight. There are rumors that after Pixiu eats enough gold, even the blood will turn red gold, and the bones of the whole body will be transformed into real jade bones. When she was Pixiu, she was also very majestic. Xiaoyu waited for 3 full days until his friend application expired, but he still couldn't add Bai Jinyu's friend. He was also a little frustrated. Originally, when Bai Jinyu just woke up, he finally made her get closer to him by feeding her gold. Who would have expected that it was only the first stage of her soul gathering and merging with her body? After recovering his mind in the second stage, he completely forgot about everyone except Sci-Fi. Sci-Fi said that Xiaobai's mental defense and emotional isolation are very serious, and it is even more difficult to get close to her. But Xiaoyu is not in a hurry. After all, she is a girl and needs to be coaxed slowly. Bai Jinyu's beautiful purple eyes widened for a moment, but soon she lowered her head and stopped talking. At the very beginning, Xiaoyu, as their instructor, repeatedly emphasized that when standing in the military posture, you can't talk or move around. If you want to move, you must report loudly. This villain pinched her head just now, who knows if he deliberately set her up and waited to bully her for a while. Humph, she won't be fooled. Xiaoyu's eyelashes drooped again, and he didn't stay with her too long, and then turned to the other side. No one saw anything tricky. After he left, Bai Jinyu sneaked another glance at him, blinking her eyes. This big villain looks so similar to Jeju, and she has a good impression of him. Could it be Jeju's relative? But why didn't Jeju mention it to her? Maybe she mentioned it, but she has a bad memory and forgot it in a flash. For example, what is the name of the person who brought her gold yesterday? She forgot again. Bai Jinyu stood obediently in a military posture. Xiaoyu paused for an extra second in front of her countless times, but she pretended not to see it. I don't know how long it took. After the whistle sounded, the 30-minute military posture ended, and the freshmen were all exhausted and collapsed on the ground, but they were still full of energy. Students from other teams also surrounded them. "Thank you, instructor, let's sing a song." "Thank you, instructor, dancing is fine too, let's dance." "Last time I didn't get a ticket for your concert, I cried all day long." "Thank you, brother. I'm your fan, I've been a fan of you for 6 years. I've been a fan of you since you were trained by Goddess Si." Hearing this sentence, Xiaoyu raised his eyebrows, and he said slowly, "Are you a fan of me, or are you a fan of Teacher Si who trained me?" The student who was asked was righteous, "Neither of them, you were trained by Teacher Si." Bai Jinyu pricked up her ears. It turns out that this big villain star is a student of Jeju. But Jeju is so cute, why are her students so black-hearted? "Brother Xie, I'm also your fan." A boy ran over from the other side of the playground excitedly. "Brother Xie, let's play basketball together after the military training. We didn't play for long the day before yesterday." Xiaoyu raised his eyelashes slightly. "Who made you think that you still have the strength to play basketball after military training?" "Boy. That's true." The boy twisted his clothes and was about to say something when he suddenly saw Bai Jinyu, who was leaning on the railing and looking up at the sky. He was shocked and said, "Damn it, aren't you the girl who knocked the basketball away with a punch the day before yesterday?" As soon as the sentence came out, it immediately attracted the attention of everyone around. Bai Jinyu yawned, with water droplets hanging on her eyelashes. Her eyes were hazy. "What?" As soon as she raised her head, her face was completely exposed to the air, especially those beautiful purple eyes, shining brightly under the sunlight. There were gasping sounds all around, mixed with the whispers of the girls. "My God, it's so beautiful. It seems to stick with a beautiful sister. I'll ask for the contact information in a while, do you want it?" "Yes, yes. You are amazing. Are you also a good player in basketball?" The boy rubbed his hands, a little excited. "Why don't we?" He didn't finish his sentence because suddenly his feet lifted off the ground. "Girls' team, what are the boys doing here?" Xiaoyu lifted the boys up with one hand, and said calmly, "Go find your instructor, don't let me throw you over." He was wearing a uniform, with long sleeves covering the muscular lines of his arms, but his slender fingers had well-defined knuckles, which looked very good-looking. The boy didn't even come back to his senses, and was brought to the side by Xiaoyu. He was very confused, not knowing what he did wrong. "Wow," a girl said, "thank you, instructor, your arm strength is really good, I didn't see it. Looking at baby Kinking's training brother Xie a lot, I always feel that brother Xie is delicate and soft." Xiaoyu glanced at them, his fox eyes narrowed. The girls immediately shut up, secretly looking at Bai Jinyu. But Bian Suiyan's eyes lit up. She stretched out her arm and slapped Bai Jinyu's waist, and said in a low voice, "Jinyu, Xiaoyu is jealous, right? Otherwise, why would he not let that boy finish talking?" Bai Jinyu looked at her quietly. I think he can hear very well. Bien Suyen was stunned. Huh. Xiaoyu turned his head suddenly, and said lazily, my hearing is really good. He heard it? Has vision, very good. Bien Suyen. She decided to shut up and never speak again. Let's kowtow CP alone. What if one day her CP comes true? Those who knock on CP will never admit defeat. During the break, the girls asked questions one by one. Brother Xie, are baby Ching Ching and Chief Yu a good thing coming soon? Are they together? Brother Xie, do you have someone you like? You are already 26, old. Brother Xie has had 0 scandals for so many years, his thinking carefully is terrifying. Bai Jinyu held her chin, half closed her eyes and blown the air until the training whistle sounded. She put on her hat and regained her military posture. On the first day of military training, all the training is the most basic rotation. Bai Jinyu was always vigilant about Xiaoyu pinching her head again, but fortunately he didn't bully her in the following training. At the end of the training at noon, the students entered the cafeteria to eat in order under the leadership of the instructors. Meanwhile, on the other side, the principal's office. The principal of Xia University knows the point of publicity very well, and asked the general person in charge of military training, have all the photos of today's military training been repaired? When they are repaired, they will be posted on the official website and Weibo. A Xiaoyu and a Sci-fi will definitely bring more enthusiasm to Xiata. Next year's enrollment task will not worry. The principal of Xia University is ready to show off to the principal of Qing University. I took a lot of pictures. The person in charge was also very excited. I took a special photo of the square team that Xia was in. Principal, look, there is also a girl in this team. She is too beautiful, like a mixed race. The principal of Xia University pushed his glasses, and he recognized Bai Jinyu after looking at him. Student Bai is very smart and was specially recruited, but her family said that she is not in good health and has been recuperating for a long time. Take care of her during military training. Not in good health, the person in charge was shocked. But I heard from the boys' team that she knocked the basketball away with a punch the day before yesterday. In the end, they searched for a long time in the grass 20 meters away from the playground before finding it. Principal Xia University. Is this the poor health that Sci-fi said? But if the body is healthy, how strong is the strength? Principal Xia fell silent. The poor health he and Sci-fi understood may not be in the same dimension. Principal, this military training promotion should also focus on the student Bai, the person in charge said with joy. Students with all-round development of morality, intelligence, physique, and beauty are our golden signs. The principal of Xia University agreed, good. Soon, a newly released video was posted on Xia University's official website, and today's military training photos were also released on Weibo. When seeing Xiaoyu wearing the instructor's uniform, Xiaoyu's fans were also taken aback. Brother Xie, why did you become a military training instructor? His, Brother Xie's martial arts scene is also very beautiful, but why do I always feel that Brother Xie is not the one who can fight? I hate that I graduated early. Why does every school start building buildings after I graduate and invite big names to come as guests? People at the scene take more pictures. With such a good figure, Brother Xie, is it reasonable for you not to make a school drama? Wait, which star is that younger sister in the square team led by Brother Xie? So beautiful, I haven't seen such a top-notch sweet girl for a long time. Definitely not a celebrity. If there is a celebrity with such a face, I can't possibly not know him. He is an amateur. Are all amateurs so beautiful now? This appearance can instantly kill a top class in his debut. Is it the young lady from the dealer? Isn't she also a freshman of Xia University this year, and she is an art student, so she must be very beautiful. Possible. Doesn't the banker have a business in the entertainment industry? Ms. Chuang must know Xiaoyu, maybe they are still good friends. At the end of the day's military training, Baijinyu didn't even look at Xiaoyu, and dragged Bian Suiyan to the cafeteria as quickly as possible. Wait, Bian Suiyan was so tired that she was half dead. Jinyu, your physical strength is too good, today is the first day of training, and I feel like my body has been run over by a car. I can't stand up anymore. I'm born with great strength. Baijinyu stopped. Do you need me to carry you? No need, how embarrassing it is. Bian Suiyan immediately stood up straight. You look. She thought of Baijinyu punching a basketball and swallowed the words weak and weak. It's obvious that her roommate is a soft girl who can fall down when the wind blows. Why is she so physically fit? Yan, go find a seat first, Baijinyu said. I'll just line up. Bian Suiyan was extremely moved. Then I will trouble you. There were so many people in the cafeteria. Bian Suiyan searched for a long time before finding 2 vacant seats. She was so tired that she slumped on the table. A few minutes later, Baijinyu came back with 2 dinner plates. Bian Suiyan gave her a pair of chopsticks. Before the 2 of them started eating, another footstep sounded, and a voice fell from above. Get up, who told you to sit here? Didn't you see me standing? Make room for me. Bian Suiyan raised her head with a frown, met Zhuang Jiao's bright face, and instantly became angry. Why, you still treat you as a young lady at school, we have to let you go. Zhuang Jiao took it for granted. What's the matter? Shouldn't it? I have already allowed you to live in the same dormitory with me. Let me sit down and eat. Bian Suiyan smiled angrily. Do you want to check your brain? There is no room for you. Why do you want to fight? She stood up and rolled up her sleeves. At this moment, Baijinyu pressed Bian Suiyan's shoulder. Yan, we have to convince people with reason, we can't be so aggressive. Bian Suiyan was originally angry. But as soon as he heard Baijinyu's voice, all his anger disappeared. This is the ability of sweet girls. Zhuang Jiao looked at Baijinyu contemptuously. Convincing people with reasoning? What reason do you have? I won't reason with you, so quickly give me your seat. You can just stand up and eat. I will give you a set when I go back. Skincare. Snapped. Crack. A steel spoon just penetrated the 3 centimeters thick table. Baijinyu said politely, now, can I ask you to get out of here? Bian Suiyan. This TM is what you said to convince people with reason. Where is the reason? Zhuang Jiao stared at the steel spoon inserted into the table. Cold sweat broke out on her forehead, and her back was even colder. Her lips trembled, she couldn't even utter a word, her legs trembled and ran away. Jinyu, teach me quickly. Bian Suiyan held her shoulder. Your move is too handsome, have you practiced it before? Baijinyu picked up the chopsticks. Yeah, don't be afraid, I will protect you. Bian Suiyan covered her heart. She couldn't stand her roommate saying such boyfriend-like words in such a soft voice. She must take good care of her roommate. After eating, Baijinyu and Bian Suiyan separated and went to the instructor's dormitory to find Sci-fucking. As soon as he entered the door, Baijinyu said aggrievedly, Juju, during the military training, the big villain pinched my hair and broke my ball head. Sci-fucking was choked. How did you pinch it? Baijinyu gestured twice, and said angrily, I won't pass his friend. Ah! He's so hot, how can he bully our Xiaobai? Sci-fucking looked serious, I'm the chief instructor, and I'll help you train him. Then. Baijinyu hesitated again, that's not necessary, and I didn't suffer any harm. Sci-fucking patted her head, Xiaobai is so good. Baijinyu felt very comfortable being touched, and she rubbed her hands again, if it's Juju's good friend, then I'll pass him. You decide for yourself, you don't need to change anything because of me. Sci-fucking was startled for a while, then held her face in his hands, and said seriously, you have to be yourself and live for yourself, You understand? Bai Jinyu tilted her head. I don't quite understand, but I will live well. She took out her phone and added Xiaoyu as a friend again. Passed quickly over there. Bai Jinyu thought about it and sent a message. Bai Jinyu, if you take me to play games, I will reluctantly forgive you. Xiaoyu, what game? Bai Jinyu, Oracle. Wow, a new dungeon has been opened, you can't do it, can you? Xiaoyu looked at the last three words, his pupils lighted up, his expression was unclear, he paused, and then typed two words. Thank you, go online. Bai Jinyu, I'm here, deduct one and I'll kiss you. After sending the sentence, Bai Jinyu noticed that the other party is typing was displayed on the top of the dialog box, flashing for a full minute. Just when she was not ready to forgive Xiaoyu, the other party finally replied. Thank you, 1. Bai Jinyu colon? Bai Jinyu, this is my game ID name. Good morning. This is definitely a super sweet campus article. QWQ. I am the author of the sweet article, right? After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 1031. The silence was sudden. Bai Jinyu tilted her head, looking at the flashing the other party is typing at the top of the dialog box. What's the matter with this person? She obviously asked him to log in and add her as a friend. Why did she really deduct a 1 all of a sudden? Strange. She ignored him for now, let Jeju take her to play games. And at this time, in Xiaoyu's single dormitory. When Su Ziun came over to deliver fruit to Xiaoyu, he saw him staring at the phone screen with lowered eyebrows, as if he had suffered such a huge setback and trauma that he couldn't even blink. Su Ziun stretched out his hand and shook it in front of Xiaoyu's eyes, very puzzled. Brother Xia, what's wrong with you? After finishing the words, he was surprised again. Why are you all gray? There is no highlight in your eyes. What kind of thing or person can make Xiaoyu, who has always been so dissolute, show such an expression? He is very curious and wants to make friends with each other. Could it be Teacher Si? Xiaoyu didn't respond. His eyelashes drooped, and his hand was still pressed on the phone screen, his eyes were hard to distinguish. I don't know how long it took before he typed the reply slowly. Xiaoyu, okay, I'll add you. After posting, he logged into Oracle on the computer while staring at his phone. 10 seconds later, the phone dinged and a new message popped up. Xiaobai, do you think I will kiss you if you deduct 1? Don't dream, only Jeju has the right to do so. Xiaoyu. Even though it was through the screen, he seemed to be able to see her very proudly in front of another mobile phone. If she is in the form of Pixiu now, her fluffy tail must be raised. Xiaoyu pressed the center of his brows, feeling troublesome for the first time. He grew up in the Occult Administration Bureau, met quite a few opposite sexes, and it's not that he doesn't understand this aspect of emotion, but he has always been uninterested and indifferent to it. It never occurred to him that he would have ill intentions against a little girl. Ha 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 ha, thank you brother. Thank you brother, you are so funny. Su Ziun pointed at his mobile phone screen, covered his stomach, and laughed until tears came out. That's his ID, what did you do? I replied with a 1, ha ha ha, I laughed so hard. Xiaoyu's fox eyes slightly narrowed, smile again. Su Ziun rubbed his stomach, brother Xia, it's really funny, I'm going to post on Weibo to laugh at you. To his surprise, when Xiaoyu heard the sentence, he pushed his mobile phone over instead. Send it. You don't have any conspiracy, do you? Su Ziun glanced at him suspiciously, took a screenshot and sent it to his mobile phone, and muttered, I always feel that you are plotting something. Xiaoyu lazily raised his hand, yes, your IQ has improved recently. Su Ziun racked his brains and thought for a long time, but he couldn't figure out what Xiaoyu was up to, so he edited a Weibo and sent it out. At V, I finally found out today that my wise and mighty brother Sia also has moments of stupidity picture. He cut off the heads of Xiaoyu and Baijinyu, and there was only one dialogue box. The relationship between Su Ziun and Xiaoyu was very good, and Xiaoyu's fans naturally paid attention to him. After seeing this picture of the chat record, the fans were stunned. Brother Xia, has your mind disappeared temporarily? When I saw this sentence, my first reaction was to ask me to add the ID. Why do you deduct 1, what are you doing, Brother Xia? Laughing to death, Brother Xia is probably stupid. I just noticed that Xia Ji's background picture turned out to be a puppy. This dog is so familiar, is it Teacher C's? Brother Xia's chat background has not been changed, it can be seen that Brother Xia loves this puppy deeply. Hurry up, who is the other party? There are not many people who can make Brother Xia feel embarrassed, and it must not be Ching Ching after all. Ching Ching is a 9 god, how could it be possible for Brother Xia to lead him? Ah, is she a cute girl? I don't agree. How can someone like Brother Xia find a cute girl? What's wrong with Yu? Yu just wants the other party to kiss him, so poor Yu. Su Ziun watched helplessly as the entry #1 quickly climbed to the first place. He looked at Xiaoyu cautiously, for fear that he would be beaten, but when he turned his head, he found that Xiaoyu was leaning on the computer chair, with his head slightly drooping, his lips curled into a smile, as if he was very satisfied with the trending search. Su Ziun rushed out the door tremblingly. It's over, Brother Xia is crazy. He can still laugh. He has to run away quickly, so as not to be affected. At 9:30, Baijinyu returned to the dormitory with the skincare products I fucking gave her. Jinyu, my CP will be gone before I knock it out. Bian Suiyan immediately ran up, hugging her arm, tears streaming down her face. Have you read Su Ziun's Weibo post? The one talking to Xiaoyu must be girl. Baijinyu sat down. What CP? What Weibo? That's it. Bian Suiyan handed over the phone. Xiaoyu is so fun, why did he deduct a 1? Baijinyu looked at the chat record silently. The comments below this Weibo are all ha 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 ha, thank you so poor. Baijinyu took out her mobile phone and said ruthlessly, very well, someone is going to be unlucky. Who is it? Bian Suiyan was taken aback for a moment, and then said righteously, who has bullied you? Tell me, I'll go fight him. Baijinyu poked Xiaoyu's profile photo, accidentally poked it a little more, and tapped it to take a pat. You kiss Yu and sleep with him in your arms. Baijinyu. She poked at the keyboard angrily. Baijinyu, you obviously misunderstood, why did you still send it out? Xiaoyu, it's not me, my phone was robbed. Baijinyu, then you are so pitiful. Xiaoyu, well, I am very poor. A big dog that was drenched in the rain suddenly appeared in Baijinyu's mind. The big dog looked at him with wet eyes and stretched out its paw to touch her. Stop. Where is the big dog? It is obviously a black-hearted monster that can eat people. Baijinyu, I'm not pitiful, Juju gave me a lot of presents, go pity yourself. Thank you, Xiaobai. Baijinyu, why? Thank you, rest early, the training intensity will increase tomorrow. Early the next morning, the second day of military training. In order to prevent Xiaoyu from pinching her hair, Baijinyu specially tied her hair higher and stuffed it into a hat. Standing in the line, she looked at Xiaoyu with a very happy expression. Xiaoyu felt her gaze, turned his head, and saw that her hair was tightly wrapped by a hat, and there was a sentence written all over her face. Humph, don't even think about pinching my bald head. Xiaoyu's hand paused in the air, couldn't help laughing, and mouthed to her, okay. He habitually reached out his hand to dig out his pocket, but suddenly remembered that the bundle of pixie hair she gave him a few years ago had disappeared with her body. Xiaoyu looked at Baijinyu calmly, and sighed softly. His journey is long and heavy. During the break, Baijinyu took off his hat, and went to sit under the shade of a tree with Bien Swayan. Xiaoyu was not there, and was called away by Sci-fucking. As soon as he left, all the girls in the formation came over. A girl touched Bai Jinyu's hair enviously. "Jinyu, your hair is really nice, what shampoo do you use, can you recommend it?" "Brand," Bai Jinyu blinked, "my family gave it to me. I don't know what brand it is. If you need it, I'll send you a bottle back to the dormitory." "Is Jinyu a mixed race?" another girl asked curiously. "Your eyes are purple, I have never seen such pupil color." "I don't know," Bai Jinyu said honestly, "my parents died after I was born, and I have never met them." She asked Sci-fucking about this matter, but Sci-fucking kept it secret all the time, and only wanted her to live her current life with peace of mind, so she didn't ask any more questions. Sorry, the girl who asked the question quickly apologized, "I didn't mean it." "It's okay," Bai Jinyu smiled and stretched out her hand, "I'm very happy to be friends with you." On the other side of the playground, Xiaoyu looked at the person and raised his eyebrows. "Mom, why are you here suddenly? Let's see how your kid is doing in school." Xia Yankai patted him on the shoulder. "I didn't see that you are quite at home, did you take good care of Xiaobai?" Xiaoyu put one hand in his pocket. "You don't need to tell me, I will take care of her. It's rare to have emotional intelligence." "It's not easy," Xia Yankai said, "but I don't believe you, I don't know what you are. You used to like to rub her head, so you must be pinching her hair." Xiaoyu, as expected of her own mother. "Call Xiaobai over, and I'll ask her if you have bullied her." Xia Yankai pushed him. Go. Xiaoyu returned to the resting place of the square team. As soon as the footsteps stopped, all the girls fell silent. "Thank you, instructor." "Xia instructor, we are chatting, what's the matter?" Classmate Bai Xiaoyu stood lazily. "Someone is looking for you, please come with me." Bai Jinyu hesitated for a moment. "Really? I think you have evil intentions." The girls also looked at Xiaoyu warily. Xiaoyu was choked. "Really, a lady is looking for you, and it's over there. If you're worried, you can go there by yourself." Only then did Bai Jinyu pat the ashes off his body, and trotted over. "Oh, Xiaobai." Xia Yankai's eyes lit up when he saw her. "Hurry up and give me a hug from auntie." Bai Jinyu was taken aback. Such a familiar face, very similar to Juju. "Ms. Yeah, you scared her." Xiaoyu, who was following behind, said unhurriedly, "She doesn't know you now." "It's a beautiful sister." As soon as he said this, Bai Jinyu immediately hugged Xia Yankai. "I like it so much." Xiaoyu. He even started to seriously think about a question: should he dress up as a man? "Xiaobai can really talk." Xia Yankai was elated, "But you can just call me auntie, I am much older than you." Xiaoyu crossed his arms. "That's not necessarily true. Although Bai Jinyu is 18 years old now, she has lived for tens of thousands of years as a mythical beast." "Hey, why didn't I have a daughter back then?" Xia Yankai gave Xiaoyu a sideways glance. "It's hard for me to give birth to you, a brat. You have such a good face, but it's a pity that you have a broken mouth." Xiaoyu raised his eyebrows, and said unhurriedly, "You can actually have another daughter at the same time." "Okay," Xia Yankai said unceremoniously, "then I will accept Xiaobai as a foster daughter, and then you go out from home and squat." Xiaoyu dragged his voice. "You really have the heart. Why can't you bear it?" Xia Yankai took Bai Jinyu's hand kindly. "Xiaobai, if he bullies you, just tell me." Bai Jinyu is very obedient. "Okay. Go back." Xia Yankai reluctantly said, "I still have a task to do, I will come to see you another day, I must eat well, auntie is still waiting for you to recover." The next day's military training ended, and the students collapsed in the dormitory as if they were dead. Bien Swayan only felt that her body was about to fall apart, and she couldn't get up when lying on the bed. Bai Jinyu squeezed her shoulders. "Yan, you have to exercise, and there will be a physical test in a few months. Bien Sui uncovered her ears. I can't hear, I'm dead. 10 minutes later, the door of the dormitory was kicked open with a loud boom. Neither Bien Sui nor Bai Jinyu looked back. Zhuang Jiao kicked the door again. Hey, come quickly and help me move things. Still no response. Zhuang Jiao's expression was not very good looking. She brought so many boxes back, why didn't she come to help her? But during the day, the scene of Bai Jinyu inserting the steel spoon into the dining table is still vivid in my memory, and Zhuang Jiao's body can't stop trembling just thinking about it. It's troublesome in college, and she can't bring servants and bodyguards in. Zhuang Jiao could only hold back her anger, and moved her box in bit by bit. After Bai Jinyu finished massaging Bien Sui, she got out of bed and was about to talk to Sci-fi on the phone. You are very powerful, are you interested in being my bodyguard? Zhuang Jiao walked up to her and raised her chin towards her. I can give you 50,000 yuan a month, and you can use cosmetics and skincare products as you like. How about that? Is that enough? Bai Jinyu didn't even raise her head. I only know that there were people with feet bound in the past, but I only know that someone has bound their brains when I saw you today. Bien Sui laughed loudly and thumped the bed. Jinyu, you're right, she just has her cerebellum wrapped around her head. She really thinks she's still a princess here. Who's spoiling her? Zhuang Jiao's expression immediately sank. Bai Jinyu, you'd better watch your way from now on. I have 100 ways to make you unable to get along in Xia University. Do you think you can do whatever you want with some kung fu? The dealer has developed very well in the past 3 years, and has made a lot of money in the entertainment industry. Many of the top stars in the entertainment industry have to serve her in front of her. Zhuang Jiao should be proud. She had never seen Bai Jinyu who toasted like this and refused to eat fine wine. Follow her. You can eat delicious food, drink spicy food. Let me tell you, I even know Sci-fi. Zhuang Jiao raised her feet. I have a good relationship with her, and she will definitely help me if I ask her to help me. Bai Jinyu finally took a look at her, holding the phone. Juju, my roommate said she knew you, and also said that you would help her so that I can't get along in Xia University. Xiaoxiang has started to double the monthly tickets, and the babies can start voting. Xia Yu and Xiaobai will write Tan Jingmo and Lu Qingning at the end, write a world, and then go to Yinghuang.